Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Sunday morning, January 16th, and we are in for a treat. It has been a crazy week here in New England with crazy weather. Horrible winter is upon us. And there's nothing like taking over buildings in the wintertime and learning their quirks. And it's amazing how many landlords will live with quirks and not just fix it right from the get-go. But anyway, I digress. So super excited to have you guys here today. I am Matt, aka the Lumberjack Landlord. Super excited to have you guys here today. We're going to get through so much stuff. Project cost stuff. I've got a bunch of rehabs in the works right now, kind of more than a little bit crazy. So yeah, just it's gonna be awesome. Lots and lots to do. So yeah, like super excited to do this. And yeah, so we're gonna jump in, do the hellos, say hi to everybody. Sorry, I'm always adjusting stuff on my settings on these things. I apologize. Trying to make sure I keep my eyes on what I need to keep my eyes on. They give you kind of a console to run this from, and I still haven't made the time. This week was nuts. I had no time to put up the other screen, which is going to take all of like 9 seconds. But literally, that's how big the week's been. So it's been an absolutely crazy week. So super excited to have you guys here today. As I was saying, we'll jump in. We'll do a couple quick things and say hi to everybody. Christopher Gordon, good morning, Christopher. Finally have an opportunity to listen live. Thank you, Christopher. Super excited to have you here. I expect questions, Christopher, because I know that you watch it a lot on the replay. So now you get your chance to ask live questions. Dojo Kyle, can you please talk about your favorite kinds of flooring for vinyl plank clipped together and glue down and on pier and beam? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Dojo Kyle, we will certainly do that. Dojo Kyle, that's the first time I've seen you in my live stream. Super excited to have you here. Thankfully, I've got a pretty good memory, but also my live streams are not that big. There's usually anywhere from 40 to 50 people watching. Someday we'll get into the hundreds. I fully suspect and expect, because quite frankly, you will not find what I do anywhere else. We talk about not only the business side of rental investment and real estate investment, but we also talk about the construction side of it. Usually people are one or the other. I do everything. So whether it's a rehab, general contracting, oversight of a project. I used to do a lot of the work myself. Now I don't do really any work myself, unless in the case of emergencies, lumberjacks must always be prepared. Pretty sure the Boy Scouts stole that from the lumberjacks. But anyway, so yeah, super excited to have you guys here today. We'll talk through lots of fun stuff. Questions. As always, please make sure you make yourselves available. So I'm super excited to talk about really everything that happened this week. We hit 17 below zero here, a wind chill factor in New Hampshire. And we have a little over 100 units. We have 35 buildings, and we had 0 freeze ups, which I was super pumped about. And we only had 1 no heat call. I'll take it. That's not a bad day. I'll absolutely take it. So if you guys are new to the broadcast, we do real estate investing, myself and my wife, Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack. I will answer any questions that you guys have. There's very few that I won't answer. So for the most part, I'll answer any questions you have. And then what's really cool is today, I know we'll have a lot of new followers or a lot of new folks jumping in and saying hi. Super excited for that too, obviously, because this session, as I always talk about, is for you guys, your questions, my answers. I'll tell you my experiences. And if I don't know something, I'll just say I don't know it. So that makes it super simple. But yeah, really excited to jump in and make some magic happen. Really excited about this today. I just got about $15,000, more than that. No, about $15,000 worth of the flooring that I talk about. So real quickly, there was a question on the flooring. So we're going to jump right there and talk about that flooring first. So the flooring, here is what I like for vinyl plank. Now, these guys do not pay me to sponsor. They are not compensating me, sending me checks. I don't get a discount on my flooring. Like when I order my flooring, I don't get a discount. But these are guys that I liked. American Flooring Corporation, AFC. They have a website. Check them out. Marty the Flooring Guy, 725-212-8610. His direct dial phone number is 725-212-8610. Marty the Flooring Guy. This is a version of their residential flooring, which is 7-inch. This is a version of their commercial flooring, which is 9-inch. If you use the commercial flooring, yes, it's more expensive, but if you guys use this in a residential property, the warranty goes from 15 to 30 years. Now, talk to them about what that warranty actually means. If you're anything like me, you're like, yeah, great. You're not making the same flooring 30 years from now. True, right? So what are you going to do for me if this stuff's a problem? 30-year warranty, Mr. Man. So anyway, this is the 9-inch stuff. This is the 7-inch stuff, residential, commercial. This stuff is pretty thick, has a very beefy lock-in tab, which I like, and it's not flimsy at all. This does, for those of you who are ninjas out there or rent to ninjas, this will actually withstand the katana test, which is essentially it's a samurai's blade. But this will actually withstand that. They took a number of hacks at it. One of our watchers, one of our subscribers actually took a number. This credit goes to Crimson Knight. He actually took a katana to this thing and went right at it. I took a screwdriver and tried to scratch it. We've deployed about 5,000 feet of these couple products in our rentals since July. We just bought another, like I said, about $15,000 worth of flooring. It was, over 5,000 square feet of flooring that we just bought. And so that will be going into properties in the next 6 months. We kind of buy blocks 6 at a time because it's a few pallets. We can get it in, get it organized, get everything set up and stuff the stuff aside. So if you missed the number, sorry, you missed the number again. It's 725-212-8610. Tell him Lumberjack Landlord sent you. He'll take care of you. And make sure to, I think they've been including shipping for us. They've done some cool things for us. The one tip that I would have with using these guys, the only tip that I would have is they are not a shipping company. They outsource the shipping. They outsource it to freight shippers. Must. I have not ever gotten a shipment from these guys that the freight guys didn't damage at least one box. Now, I know you'll feel the pressure. The driver will show up. He'll be like, yeah, I got to get out of here right as soon as they load it off, right? Because they'll charge you. There's something called a lift gate fee. If they're dropping it off to a non-commercial address, there's a lift gate fee, which is $90. Be prepared. But again, well worth it. You still save a fortune and the quality is just as good, if not better than what I'm finding in the big box stores. And certainly flooring stores as well, unless you're spending crazy money. But really like the product. Like I said, I've no surprises. I got a $90 liftgate fee. Wasn't surprised about it. They told me I was going to get it. Not a surprise at all. And so that was really super awesome because they were able to deliver it to basically a residential area with the liftgate. Now, when the boxes show up, the driver's going to pop out. He's going to be like, hey, here's your bill of lading that you have to sign. Okay, my bro, hold on just a second. I know you want to get out of here, but I'm breaking open the plastic on this stuff. You got to break open the plastic. You gotta. Make sure you have an X-Acto knife or some sort of a box cutter ready. Rip that plastic off and check the boxes all the way around on the edges. Make sure that there's no chunks taken out of the box where you'll see like broken little plastic pieces. If you do, it's very simple. Take pictures of any boxes that are damaged where you actually see that something broke. Take pictures of any of that stuff, and then you can send it right to American Flooring because they'll then get it covered by the shipper. The key here is that you have to make a note of that on the bill of lading. Make a note of that. I can't believe how much work I'm doing for these guys. This is unbelievable. They better give me a freaking discount. Just kidding. So Marty, I'm helping you out, man. I'm sending good customers, good people to you. But guys, I'm sending you because I know it's good product. I've done almost $30,000 worth of flooring with these guys since just July. It's withstood all the elements in our rentals. It's withstood the salt and the sand so far from this winter. It's good product. So if you guys are just joining me, I'm the Lumberjack Landlord. I talk about real estate investing. I cover any question that you can possibly have when it comes to real estate investing. Some ground rules right here. My phone, you will see it go off. I've got contractors working on Sundays because, in fact, here we go. Okay. Literally, it's a contractor. See how perfect is that? Perfect timing. So we just had, yeah. We just had some wood floors redone in a house that we've been renting. They had pets. Pets had some mistakes. And so now it's damaged the wood floors. Such is life, way it goes. No use crying over spilled milk, but the floor guy is a good guy. They're working today. They're doing coats of poly. They sanded it yesterday. They're doing coats of poly today. He just sent me a couple pictures and said, hey, here's what the floor looks like. I'm like, dude, all good, not your fault. But all we have to do is make sure there's no smell there. He said, nope, no smell. So it's just a stain. So we sand it. The only other option that we could do is stain the entire floor. Quite frankly, not worth doing. Not worth doing. It doesn't look bad. It will still have character even when it's double coat polyed. It'll still look really good. So anyway, that's that. So yeah, so Dojo Kyle, that's your answer for flooring, vinyl plank, as well as click lock. And I don't usually glue down my floors just because, the floors are usually good enough. The subfloor is good enough underneath it where I don't have to glue it down. So I don't usually glue it. So Dojo Kyle, let me know if that was helpful to you, my man. Hip Harp Silver, let's do this. I agree, man. It's been a long week, but excited to be here. Janet Santiago, good morning, Matt. How are you? Happy to be here. Super excited to have you here, Janet. Glad you have Sunday morning off. Baby's doing well. Please let us know your thoughts. Please let us know your thoughts about this crazy inflation on real estate market. They're killing the middle class. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I survive inflation just fine. The constant drive in the wealth gap. And again, guys, take it from a 9th grade dropout. I'm just to learn my lessons in the world. I'm not in a classroom. So I've seen how that impacts people, how that impacts the middle class. I was the middle class for a very long time. Not anymore. I pulled myself up out of it through real estate investing. So one of the interesting things to see is, like gas, insane. Oil prices, insane. I mean, electricity, everything, energy, insane. Food, nuts. Inflation helps those that have assets. If you have assets, it will go well. If you don't have assets, it won't. Give me just 1 second. I just want to make sure. Ashley Little had to walk, Mrs. Lumberjack had to go drop off a heater to a place that they said their cold water wasn't working in their kitchen sink. So I know exactly what the issue is there. It's the basement got too cold. The joys of landlording in New England. So anyway, super excited to have you guys here. But yeah, as far as inflation goes, and okay. All right, we're going to do a quick interruption. I'm going to get one of the kids in with me. Give me just 1 second. Are you having fun, Brian? Yeah, okay, good. Are you watching the iPad? All right, cool. A little bit of behind baseball or inside baseball right there. But yeah, she just had to run out real quick, but We got the electronic babysitter in just the room next door for just a few minutes. So yeah, so inflation, how it will affect the real estate market. Assets will continue to go up. Rates will have to go up. Look at this. Look at the 50-year study that Mike Zuber did, one rental at a time, on rates. That will tell you the story, largely speaking. You will see junk start to sit on the market, marginal properties that before would fly off because anything was flying off. You'll start to see some of that stuff slow down. You'll start to see some price reductions, but again, these price reductions are not price reductions like what we're normally used to seeing. These are price reductions because literally people were asking for the moon, the stars, and the sun. And so some agents like the strategy of overpricing something and saying, hey, we only need one person. That's true. Sometimes that works. In a market like this is usually when that works. A lot of times what that does is you have no traffic and they end up having to do price reduction, and then they're catching a falling knife. So a lot of times they'll say, hey, in a crazy market like this, let's throw this thing on the market and try and get whatever we can get for it. So let's ask for the craziest number we can possibly think of. And that's why they do it the way that they do it. It's a strategy that I don't love, because this market, people are so prepared to pay over list price because there's that fear of missing out, and there's going to be that competition on an open house on a Saturday. So I still like the model of, pricing it at, a point or two below market, and then let the market take care of it. That's what I did on a couple of my properties. And it went very well. On one deal, I think we got 10% over ask. We had two people that had to have it, or 5 people that really wanted it. 2 people had to have it. Their numbers were over asked to start. And then we just said best and final, and somebody wanted it. They were about 10% over asking price. So a little over, actually. And this was like a few months ago. So yeah, still crazy out there for sure. So that's what I think is going to happen with crazy inflation in this market. Assets will continue to go up like they do during inflation. Rents will continue to go up. And in fact, I think rents are going to go up longer than houses are, because they're going to have to catch up. And then rates, we'll start to see the Fed taper. We'll start to see rates tick up. As those rates tick up, it's not going to have a big effect on the houses. It just isn't. It will eventually, because the payment will start to go up, and that's what people buy. They buy the payment. And the fact of the matter too is right, we buy payment too. We do. I mean, I just paid $500,000 for a property that 10 years ago cost me $200,000. The same property would have cost me about 200. I just paid $500,000 for it. Why? Because the price has more than doubled. The rents have not quite doubled, but they're close. But because the rates are so much lower, the price could have tripled. It could have been a $600,000 house, and the numbers would be better than they were when I bought it at 180 with those rates at 6.5. Because I can't remember exactly what the rate was that I bought it at, but it was strong. So yeah, that's what I expect to continue to see. Jan Santiago, I love your sweater. Thank you very much. This is a USA hockey jersey, World Championships. I'm wearing it in honor of our amazing country, but also the Olympics start in a few weeks, and no NHLers are going to be in there in the Olympics. But I always look forward to seeing that next tier of talent, the young guys. So excited to see that. Hip Hop Silver and proof like that, the genie arrives. Yeah. Thanks, Hip Hop Silver. Appreciate that. Ryan Ruff, good morning. Karen Molnar, good morning. Yeah, good morning. Crazy weather in North Carolina too, getting some sleet, ice, but nothing compared. Yeah, but you guys, I think, Karen, in the entire state of North Carolina, you guys have like 5 plow trucks. We have one every other driveway here. So it's way worse when it happens to you guys. My father-in-law, I used to live in Greensboro, and 3 inches of snow shut the place down for a week. So completely get where you're at. And yeah, that's tough for sure. Again, my name is Matt, the Lumberjack Landlord. Appreciate you guys being here. If you're new, stay tuned, ask some questions. We'll make sure to get to them. So I appreciate everyone showing up today. Jerneil. Hey, Jerneil. Good morning, Matt. Happy Sunday and hope your family's doing well. Thanks, Jerneil. Appreciate it. Excited to have you here. REI Trainer, happy Sunday. Hey, REI Trainer. Glad to be here. Thankful for your live stream. By the way, over a foot of snow coming down. Yep, in Virginia. Yep, I realize that's nothing to UNH, but it's special here. Yeah, sure is. Like I said, I think Virginia has 7 trucks. So yeah, you guys are, oh, I feel bad for you guys. We're built for that stuff. Really, the rest of the country isn't really built for that stuff. So yeah, stay safe, guys. Stay safe. Stay safe. I wonder what your grocery store shelves look like right now. Forget about supply chain. So yeah. Dion Talk. Hey, Dion. Good morning, my friend. Good morning. Good morning. Good to have you here, my friend. JLD Systems. Hey, JLD. I've not seen you here before. Super excited that you are. Hello. Good morning. Dawn. Hey, Dawn's back this week, everybody. Dawn, good to have you here. REI Trainer. Yep. Howdy to Dion. Indeed. Tiffany White. Hello. If you guys have not seen, you guys should check out Tiffany. She's got some super cool stuff on her YouTube channel, the fish and fish tanks and stuff. And I'm underselling it. Check it out. If you like fish, aquariums, any of that stuff, Tiffany's got a pretty sick channel. Jerneil, what neutral interior paint color sheen do I recommend? Jerneil, that's a great question. So I'm a Benjamin Moore guy. I like Benjamin Moore products. I find that they are better than the Behr products that you get from Home Depot, way better than the Valspar products that you get at Lowe's. And as good as what you get at Sherwin-Williams, but the cost point is better. So Benjamin Moore, I like. I usually will use the Regal product, and I will use semi-gloss on my trim, a bright white. You guys can check it out in my awesome lumberjack project or awesome lumberjack project on my channel, that video. I redid that entire house. That is actually the template that I use for all of the properties that I do. That's the caliber of reno that we do in our stuff. So really good stuff, really high quality. But yeah, and then the sheen on that, I want to say is satin. I believe I'm pretty sure it's satin. So yeah, so that's satin. And then the trim is semi-gloss, but I don't put semi-gloss on with a brush. We have them spray it. So we'll tape everything off and have them spray all the trim. My guy is freaking Leonardo. Like he is, and not DiCaprio, Da Vinci. But Da Vinci wasn't a painter. Was he a painter? Now I don't remember. Yeah, he painted the Sistine Chapel, right? No, that was Michelangelo. Sorry. I'm a 9th grade dropout. What do you want from me? I don't know this stupid stuff. I know the important stuff, how to make money. All right. So yeah, that's the color and sheen I would recommend. ML, morning. I have carpet. I want to replace with vinyl plank flooring. Do I need to remove the baseboards, or is there enough room to fit underneath it? There should be enough room to fit underneath it. Yep, you should be good. Should be good. It depends on the install. 9 times out of 10, I've seen one install where they put the baseboard so close to the floor. But if you have carpet, usually the pad, the carpet, and the tack strip is going to be higher than what you're going to get for the flooring. So you should be good 9 times out of 10. In fact, even more than that, 99 times out of 100, you're going to be okay. Hip Hop Silver, excited and back in the fire. Yeah, found a burnout landlord that is selling his only rental, and I will have a 25% ROI in 4 years. Woo woo, that's great, right? Yeah, like there's definitely landlords that are fatigued from all that is COVID, all that is the sorry, I'm stumbling on my words because it's right, say it. The generation of entitlement, like effing, bleh. Yeah. Some of our tenants have been really tough this year, more than any other year ever. And it's, they're just like, well, so somebody ran out of oil. Perfect example. Somebody ran out of oil. Their responsibility in the lease is oil. They ran out of oil. They didn't pay the heating company, the oil company, to restart the furnace. He said, maintenance is on you. I didn't run out of oil. You did. That's you. He's like, no, it's maintenance. It's on you. No, it isn't. It's on you. And this happened when it was 0 outside. So my option was frozen pipes because he couldn't get anybody out there, or fix it. And so what happened? Sure enough, if you guys don't know how oil systems work, oil goes in the big, huge tank. There's over time, sludge develops in the bottom. When you run a tank out, it's gravity fed, so that the line comes off the bottom of the system, and then it goes to your what's called your oil burner, which is then what, the oil burner basically is what the oil gets fed into, that then there's something called an igniter that ignites, and then that actually is what then burn your burner kicks on to then get your system going and heating up the system. So the oil goes into that, and when you get to the bottom of a tank, it sludges up. When you get to that bottom sludge, it will run through that line because it's actually sucking it in, and it sucks it in. And guess what happens? You clog the line, and there's two filters on there too. There's a filter on the bottom of the oil tank, which will typically fill up, and then the flow of oil is reduced, and then that will have your hot water system or your heating system, your boiler or your furnace shut off. And so that's why they're supposed to keep that stuff clean. And so, yeah, so I still ended up taking care of it, but he's getting a bill. It's not my job. Not my job. When you forget to order oil and you cause the clog, that's on you. That is on you. So there's a perfect example of the entitlement, folks. Nisi, hey Nisi, good morning. See, I know Nisi's name, Nisi. Theta Hedge Capital, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Wolf Master 82, good morning. Janelle Diaz, where can you find affordability index for your market? I saw you ask that question yesterday on Mike Zuber's live stream. So for me, from my state, it's the New Hampshire Board of Realtors. So I think it's NH or Association of Realtors. So it's nhar.org is where I find mine. If you just Google that for your state, you should find a board of realtors or association of realtors, and they're the ones that usually track that data. That's the only real purpose of that entity, is they take care of licensing and they take care of real estate market data. So NHAR, New Hampshire Association of Realtors is where I find mine.org. Yes. InvestWealth, good morning. InvestWealth, good morning to you as well. Hey, Lumberjack. Hey, Troy. There he is. Hey, I saw that you bought the book, my man. Good for you. Good for you doing the work. Love seeing that. Super excited you're here, and feel free to ask questions. But yeah, saw you post that. So we have a Facebook group, the Three Amigos of FI. It's myself, Michael, Dion, Three Amigos of FI. If you're not in it, you should be. We don't charge anything. You don't have to buy any course to get in it. Bunch of people there, all pursuing financial independence. The three of us all did it through real estate. And so that's what we talk about there. So again, you guys should be in that group if you aren't. So yeah, so Troy, good to have you here, my friend. Crimson Knight, Matt, LOL. I join and you are plugging the floor can withstand a katana. Good job. Crimson Knight, I shared the truth, my man. So Crimson Knight also decided to take out a gun and test it. I told him, I said, I don't know why. I don't see people being concerned about it withstanding gunshots. Bad news is flooring didn't withstand the gunshots. Good news is you probably shouldn't be renting to folks that it needs to withstand a gunshot. So we're okay there. Dud W, or hopefully maybe that's Dude W. Matt, shout out. Last week I asked to network with agents, property management, etc. You suggested look at Zillow listings, which I did. This worked great, and I'm connecting with lots of people in my area. Awesome. Love it. Love it. Love it when the advice I give works. More importantly, I know it works. I do it myself. I'm just super excited that you did the work, but you did it, and see, it's working. I'm telling you guys, I don't tell you to do anything or don't share what I've done that's a success or make it or mask it as anything. I'm just telling you exactly what I do. So I'm super pumped that you did that. Really quick point, as you guys look at evictions, as evictions might start to take place for you, I get it. It's a scary process, but you do exactly the same thing. Look at your court records for where, you just need to go to your town, ask them where the records are for where the list of attorneys are, or look at the results, right? You can actually see the attorneys making arguments for eviction for landlords. Just ask your local clerk at the court where you would find that is there someplace online you can find that. You can then go look up the different look up the different lawyers. For me, I'm such a control freak. I went and I sat in the courtroom for a day. That's what I did. I went and I sat in the courtroom for a day. And then I was like, I saw 4 or 5 different attorneys that day. Then this one guy, head and shoulders above the rest. He was a men amongst boys. He was a lion amongst lambs. He was awesome. I was like, that's my dude. I don't care what he costs. That's my dude. Because he was kicking ass. And the best part is that he didn't even have to, in a lot of cases, he literally was just like, yep, we've reached an agreement out in the hallway, and this is what we did. And his agreements were always awesome for the landlords for the most part. And when I say for the most part, some were awesome. Some were like, I mean, he probably did the best he could. So he was just really good. So that's the same thing that you do when you're trying to do that meetup stuff and build your network. Same thing that you do. Don't wait until you have an eviction. Don't wait until you have a problem. You need to be having those conversations with 2 or 3 lawyers, reaching out to them, making sure that you're on their radar, that they're on your radar and you're on theirs, and that you have a solution in place when the time comes. Cool. Mrs. Lumberjack is home. I now can stop half listening to kids creating lunacy, in the room next door. Ryan Ruff, how much SP for the flooring? I would assume you're probably asking square foot. It ranges. They have stuff that's just about $2 all the way up to like $4. But what I've found is it's on par with the stuff that you get at the big box stores. That's about 20 to 25% more. It's better quality for the lower price. And when I started to come, I've done flooring we've probably put in 75,000 square feet, 100,000 square feet of flooring between all of our units, or when I negotiated a deal and had a bunch of mine and my friends' units done. 75 to 100,000 square feet. It's the best product that we've used that wasn't crazy expensive. Like I've bought stuff that was $7 a foot for a very specific project. Yeah, that stuff was slightly better than this, but not really much. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Nathan, hey, good morning, Nathan. Lumberjack, good morning, all. Mark, hey, Mark, good to have you here. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Yes, happy Sunday. Super excited to be here. Christopher Gordon, he thought better of what he was going to ask, but Chris, I still expect a question out of you. Jerneel Diaz, are there any private money lenders you can recommend that do not record the note on title? No. Nope. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Nope. I've never done a deal like that. Sorry. Can't tell you. Couldn't tell you. Not that I won't, but I can't. Crimson Knight, how much is good install price? I was quoted $10,000 for leveling, underlayment, and install price. Plowed and underlayment included in the price, 1,500 square feet. So that's like 6.5 a foot. Oh, and by the way, if you guys didn't see the video that was on my channel where we talk about rising project costs, you need to watch that video. You need to watch it. Mike gave me basically no information about a project that he was working on, basically none except for the square footage of the building. I got the price within 0.75%. And I'd never seen the building, did the measurement, knew exactly what product he was using. So I know a little bit about this stuff, but so 6.5 a foot for underlayment. I mean, it really depends, Crimson, because I've seen some that were pretty bad. Like 3 inches, like literally 3 inches in like a 14-foot span. Then you've got some, major leveling stuff that you're going to have to do. The only thing I can tell you on that right now is I would get 2 or 3 quotes. And I think what you'll find is you'll have trouble getting 2 or 3 quotes in this market right now in our state, trying to get guys to show up to do that work. So yeah, I mean, the only thing that I could tell you is I would try to get another quote, at least one more quote. It doesn't seem, it doesn't, it's way more expensive than it would have been 2 years ago, but taking current product into account. As an example, I had a guy give me a quote for demo on that project. If you guys watch my Instagram, and please get Instagram. There is so much information I put out there now on a daily basis. That's my commitment in 2022, is that I'm going to put stuff out there every single day, something that we're dealing with in our properties every single day. Instagram, which is at Lumberjack Landlord. You'll find me. You'll see my logo there. We did a demo job on a duplex. It was about 2,500 square feet. We got quotes from 6,000 to 20,000. And there was no difference in what they were offering. None. Not like one of them included dumpsters and one didn't. Literally 6 to 20. It's just stupid. Like, what are you paying your demo guys at if you're making 20 grand on a demo of 2,400 square feet? Like, that's just ridiculous. And I told the contractor, I was like, listen, I need to understand your math and understand why you came in 3X, because he's one of my normal contractors that I use for some other stuff. And the conversation is going to be, listen, if you just don't want to do it, just tell me you don't want to do it, but don't give me some jackass number. Like, just don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. So yeah, Crimson, I would get a few quotes. Get a few quotes. That's what you're going to want to do. Get a few quotes. Because some of the pricing that I've seen on some stuff, like I said, 6 to 20. And I can tell you that demo job would have cost me 4. 2 years ago or a year ago, probably just before COVID, that was a $4,000 demo job, not 6. Wasn't even, yeah, not even close. Dojo Kyle, that was helpful. Thank you. Subscribed. Dojo Kyle, thank you for the subscription. Please make sure you hit the like button if any of this is helpful to you, which I clearly think it is. But yeah, let me know. Go on their website, Dojo Kyle. Go on their website, order. I think you can get 4 or 5 samples, I think, for free of charge. But go on the website, get the 4 or 5 samples, get them sent to you. You'll be impressed. You'll be impressed with the product. I know I am. I'm a 20-year veteran at doing this, done almost 100,000 square feet of flooring. It comes with a pad attached. We've put another sub pad underneath it. That's good. All right. I love it. Oh, Mrs. Herbert. Thank you, the Herberts, for subscribing. Appreciate that. They did that on Instagram. I'm telling you guys, I'm putting stuff out there every day. Every single day, I will take a picture from a job site and I will post a picture with exactly what's going on there. So you guys can kind of get the feel, get the experience you can yourself. That was one thing I missed when I was coming up through the business. I didn't hear enough. I only knew the one job that I might be working on. Well, now I think I've got 6 active projects right now, way more than I wanted to, way more. But the deals were so unbelievably good that I was just like, you know what? We'll just figure it out. We'll figure it out. We've filled 17 units since the middle of November. That's how nuts this has been. We never get winter rental. It's super bad supply of people. But this year's just been different. It's been a completely different year than every other. Chris Webb, snowing here in Central Virginia. Yep. How's it going up there in New Hampshire? Pat sucked last night. Yeah. Thanks, Chris. 6 rings. That's all I got to say. 6 rings. So I don't know what you want from me. So what's really funny is that, I remember growing up with the Patriots and they were a dumpster fire. They were like the Buccaneers were in the 70s. The Pats were a dumpster fire all in the 70s, early 80s. They had the one Super Bowl year. In the 90s, they stunk. And then they finally righted the ship with the right management with Bill Parcells. Then that turned into Belichick. And then that turned into, a dynasty, 2 dynasties. But again, the core of it is Tom Brady. It just is what it is. He's got a good chance at another ring again this year. But I digress. And what's really funny is that most of the people up here are watching Tom. We love him. We saw him grow up from nothing. The hit from Mo Lewis and the Jets. We could never thank him enough for taking out Drew Bledsoe and puncturing his lung. So we needed to get Tom Brady in there. So yeah, the rest is history. Oh my goodness, so many questions. I'm so far behind. All right, let me rapid fire some of these. Theta Hedge, just about to ask, how do you prevent pipes from freezing up? Do you insulate with Noodle type pipe insulation, or do you use heat tape? Yes and yes. So we will use heat tape when it's on an exterior wall. If it's on an interior wall, we will not use heat tape. We'll just use the foam noodle, or the foam noodle. Yep. Yep, Crimson Knight. So the boiler at one of my places was dead. Okay, I was able to prime it and start it again. Should I try to let it go through the winter, or should I consider emergency replacement? So I would have a heating company go and take a look at it. I would have them look at the chamber specifically. I would also have them look at the igniter and change out the filters on your tank, as well as the filter before it goes into the burner. I would have them check both of those. So I would check both sides of that. Yeah, that's what I would do. Based on that report, I would then start to making your plan to change it out. If they give you a report that, hey, your chamber's collapsing, this, that, and the other, it really depends on what you hear in that report, Crimson Knight, but do that. Definitely do that. Get it looked through. I'm trying to think out in Manchester. LaChance Plumbing and Heating is spectacular out there. They always treated us right. They were always a good company. I don't know if they're still in business out there because I haven't been there for 3 years. But yeah, yep. LaChance Plumbing and Heating is who we used. T-stamps. When you are getting to learn your market, do you consider properties that you would live in, or a property that is rent ready and livable? So the key is, that's what the spreadsheet differentiation is for. I didn't take Mike's course from a buying perspective, but I have read his book. I was doing it for 19 years before I met Mike. What the spreadsheet really is there to, and how you can kind of code your spreadsheet, from my understanding, is creating the grade of what the product is, because obviously that matters in the price per square foot that you're going to pay. So that's just something to keep tabs of, because obviously if it's a complete gut redo and everything's 100% dated and a bunch of stuff is broken, it might be 150 a foot. If it's brand new construction, here where I am, it's 350 a foot. So obviously massive price differences. So when building out that spreadsheet, what you can do, Troy, is if you're taking his course, other people have that spreadsheet available, which is a huge help, I know. But that's what I typically see the most on that side of things. So for me, it's just about comparing like asset to like asset and really tracking that market. Oh, give me just 1 second. See, this is a contractor. Hold on 1 second, everybody. How's it going? I'm doing super awesome. I'm literally answering your question during a live stream. No, live stream. I always work. But it's Lumberjack Landlord. So how can I help you, contractor Dan? Okay. 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 Well, if so we have Lou on there. Do you see the Lou on? Do you have any sort of saw or anything like that with you? It does. Yep. There's a sheet of Luan right there. Just cover it with that sheet of Luan. I'll dress it up. And then if you just throw insulation in from the other side, or there's insulation there in that pet door, you can also just stuff that right into that hole, because that's nice R30. If that. Okay. Inside in the looks, if you just throw a piece of Luan on that, I can do the rest. You're my hero. Thank you, sir. This is how we do it, guys. Yeah, this is how we do it. So that was actually a heating system replacement. We're putting in a new Renai where one had, there was an old like blower unit, wall unit. What a piece of junk that thing was. And it just, I didn't like it. It was old. It was noisy. It wasn't very efficient. So I just said, rip it out. We'll put a new Renai in, be done. So that's what he's doing. And so great contractor. He called and he's like, hey, I removed the old unit, but now there's a big, huge hole in the wall. What do you want me to do? Now, we always have extra material on site for just such a thing as this. We'll always have an extra sheet of Luan on site. We'll always have some extra 2x4s on site, an extra box of screws. We'll always have that stuff on site when we're doing a project to make sure. We'll always have literally a couple of what's called bats of insulation. It's like a section of insulation. We'll always have that there too. That way, if something comes up, boom. He doesn't have to go anywhere. He doesn't have to address anything. He's not using it as an excuse to leave the site and not finish the job. Everything's right there, right there. That's how you do it. That's how you make the magic happen. Yeah, good stuff. So I'm Matt. I'm the Lumberjack Landlord. If you're new to the channel, love having you here. Please make sure that you get a chance to ask one of your questions below. I'm an investor, 100 units, myself and my wife, Mrs. Lumberjack. And so I'm here to answer any and all of your questions, regardless what they may be about real estate, but there's a ton of other real estate investors here. So you'll get a lot of feedback from the people that are also in the chat, which is really awesome. That's why we like to do this. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, so Troy, that's what I would do. What questions do you ask a vet? What questions do you ask to vet? Oh, to vet a real estate agent. I was like, we're talking about veterinarians now. You're going to have to talk to Tiffany. She's the one on the fish stuff. So yeah, but out of my depth. So how do we vet a real estate agent? Honestly, the biggest thing for me is experience in that market, right? So I don't want the person that moves 5 houses a year, or quite frankly, even 10 houses a year. Now, I'm not rude to them. I let them know what my buy box is. And most importantly, I always tell them I'm a respectable person. So I dance with the one who brung me. You bring me an off-market deal, I will work with you on it. Off-market deal. You bring me an MLS deal, guess what? I'm already on the MLS. I already got a bunch of people sending me MLS stuff. That's not a problem. I don't need more noise there. What I need is the Gordon Gecko Bud Fox. I need you to go get me some information. That's what I need you to do. It's not illegal though. You can have an off-market deal. So again, if you're new to the channel, love having you here. Please feel free, ask questions. I'll make sure to get to them. I got a little bit behind, but I will catch up. So that's what I would ask to vet a real estate agent. I want to know how long they've been, I want to see how long they've been doing it. A lot of this stuff happens though. I evaluate it in MLS before I take that step. So I know that they're one of the top agents with 2, 3, and 4 units because I've seen their sales, right? And I'll then ask them, so tell me about the last multifamily, the last 2 unit that you sold, 3 unit you sold, 4 unit you sold. What were the challenges that you saw in that unit? That's what I really want to understand. If it's just about them bringing me deals, then it's really only about one thing. If it's them bringing me deals, it's really just about, here's what my buy box is. This is what I'm interested in. And I can close. I can close. I have proof of funds. I have a standing letter from a bank. I can close. So if you bring me a deal and we can put a deal together, I will close. You don't need to worry about that. That's how I vet agents, because they want to know that I'm not a faker. They want to know I'm not a pretender. They don't want to know I'm just some, investor that has 1 unit that acts like I have 100, that is going to treat them like I have 100. I don't. I'm super respectful of real estate agents until they prove they're not respectable. And then they're just like, oh, well, this house is a great deal. Oh, dude, if you say that to me, this house is a great deal. Based on what? It's just a great deal. Based on what? Listening. What is it? Why is it a great deal? I know my business. I know my market better than 99.9% of agents in my market. Price per square foot, what stuff is trading for. I watch my market every single day, and no other agent watches their market. Almost no other agent watches their market every single day in my specific buy box. So I know my buy box better than anybody. So what does that mean? That means that if you're going to tell me it's a good deal, you aren't really listening to me, number one, and I'm a customer. Number two is, if you're going to say something, I need you to back it up with something. Show me that you're good. The agents that I have are rock stars. They are rock stars. Now, I've done deals this last year. I did a number of deals not using my agents because other agents or wholesalers brought me a deal. I'm keep what you kill. I'm not calling up my agent going, hey, I need you to take care of this transaction for me. No. Nope. I'm not taking money out of somebody else's pocket who did the work. I reward the work. I don't reward the title. Hopefully that helps. Jay Markey. Good morning, Matt. Finally getting to listen live today. Very cool. Excited to have you here. John Doe. Good morning, Matt. Thanks for all the quality content and motivation. You are very welcome, John Doe. We are here crushing it, and it was gold this week. Damn, I hate these weeks. They're so bad. It's the worst. Tiffany White. I breed angelfish as a hobby. Oh, wow. That's very cool. Yeah, guys, like I said, Tiffany does an awesome job on her site. My kids love looking at the aquariums and stuff and seeing the fish. So there's really good content on there. If you have kids, especially. Matt Herbert. Good morning, Matt. Good morning, Matt. I would love to know how that banking relationship I turned you on to, see if that got you anywhere. Not any crazy details, but just, yeah, it was good, or no, she was awful. Just tell me how that went. USC Renee, good morning. JLD Systems Limited. Have you ever used an escalation clause? Yes, I have. Did you have a follow-up question? I'm just looking down. So yeah, so for those of you who don't know what an escalation clause is, I put an offer in for $500,000. I know it's a multi-offer situation. They have other offers on the table that I obviously don't know what they are. I've done the math and I say, you know what? This house is really worth $5.25. What I do is I do an escalation clause that says, all right, whatever their offer is, I'll go 5,000 above that up until it hits, let's say 525. So I did an escalation clause on 3 deals ago. I did one that lost. I had a building that it hadn't been for sale for 100 years. It had been traveled down in generationally in the family. And because this property had never hit the market before, really. I mean, the last person to list this was, I'm pretty sure, an agent at Dale Carnegie's bank. And so loved this building. They put it on for $575, which was a steal and a half. I had an escalation clause going all the way up to $650. Yeah, escalation all the way to $650, and I didn't get it. And then I saw what it sold for. I was really mad. Yeah, brutal. So yes, HALD, I've absolutely used escalation clauses. Yeah, and been very successful with them. That's only one of 2 or 3 times that I've lost with an escalation clause. 2 times I've lost with an escalation clause, and I've bought 50, 60, 70 properties, somewhere in that range. I actually haven't kept track of how many I've bought. I probably should look at that. I don't sell a lot. So I've bought, I don't know, I own 36 or 37. Sold. Yeah, I bought over 50 properties. In majority has been in the last 10 years. Yeah, last 10 years, majority. Yep. So if you're new to the channel, I'm the Lumberjack Landlord. Super excited to have you here. If you have questions about real estate investing, feel free to ask them. We have a bunch of other real estate investors in the live chat that come and hang out with us every single Sunday. And so you'll likely get answers from them as well, but happy to answer any questions you guys have. So yeah, good. ML, you're welcome, ML. John Doe, got triggered last Sunday when you likened a water pump to an alcoholic insider trader race hustler. I just left my safe space yesterday. Besides, pumps don't have dentures. Yeah, if you guys want to know what that is, I won't rehash the whole thing right here, but if you want to know what that means, last week's live stream was, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that, but welcome to watching a lumberjack on live stream, way it goes. Yeah, I'm fun at parties, but for obvious reasons, I don't get invited to all that many anymore. It's a good time. Crimson Knight, one of my tenant's sister's rents should be capped, but also NH has too many houses. Entitlement at its finest. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Yeah. So one of the things that Crimson Knight's talking about here is all of these programs have massive shortages in the amount of housing that they need to house people. So they have these massive lists of people, and I get calls all the time. Hey, Matt, there's, we've got 10 of these vouchers that are expiring because we can't find enough houses. It's because they're not paying enough. That's really what it comes down to. It's because they're not paying enough. So it happens. But yeah, that is a problem. I think they raised rates 10% this year. They're probably going to have to raise them again 10% next year. And then they're still behind market. So real quickly, a quick lesson from that is in my market, I use the housing number, what you get from Section 8 or what they call housing authority. I use that number as my base case for rents because worst case scenario, that's going to be my rent. That's my worst case scenario. My best case scenario is market or higher. If I need a deal to prove it to a bank, I'll do the little bit more work, but I like to be really conservative and have surprise to the upside. And if I use housing's number, I'm always going to have a surprise to the upside. Yep. For me anyway, I will always have a surprise to the upside based on my numbers. Jason Mitchell. Hey, good morning, Jason. Morning, Lumberjack. Do you use a different type of paint in the bathroom to prevent mildew? No, what we'll usually use is, you could use a semi-gloss. Usually we don't though, because it makes it feel too much like a bathroom, if that makes sense. So we'll still use like a satin enamel, not an eggshell, but like a satin enamel or enamel, and that usually does the trick. The other thing that we've done too is that we won't do anything in there that isn't either green board or wonder board. That means that can't grow mildew. And so at best it happens on the surface and then it's just a sponge wipe away. That's what we've done. Dimitri. Hey, Dimitri, you can leave baseboards and cap it with quarter round for finished look. Yep. Saves money. If we rip builder grade moldings off, we replace them with 5-inch tall one. Yep. Looks amazing, but more money. So Dimitri, I'm going to topper you here. 7.25-inch speed base at $1.19 a foot. That's what we put in all of our places because it looks that impressive. And it's only about 15 cents. It's only about 15 cents more a foot. It's only 15 cents more a foot or 10 cents more a foot than the 5-inch stuff. But the key here is that your install price is exactly the same. Number one. Number two is because your install price is the same, all you're really talking about is the price per linear foot difference. But now let's do the math. A typical house has 500 to 700 linear feet of baseboard. It's 50 to 75 bucks if it's 10 cents. It's 100 to 140 bucks. In the grand scheme of things, $100 for a 7.25-inch base that's big, tall, beautiful, bold, really bold. Difference maker. Different than any other house that they're going to see. It's a difference maker. So I use the 7.25 speed base. That's what I use. And if you look at my rehab videos, you'll actually see that product pictured in those videos because that is our standard for all of our products. Rehabs. But yeah, to his point, to Dimitri's point though, 5-inch or greater, absolutely. 5-inch or greater. I would absolutely be using taller, more bold. Mike doesn't believe in some of those finishes being a difference in rents or rentability. I do. That is where we differ a little bit. I believe that for some that's the case, but I'm looking for even the more discerning renter that walks in and goes, huh, this place doesn't look like every other rental that I've walked into. It doesn't have colonial moldings. It doesn't have ugly 6-panel doors. They're not hollow. All the finishes aren't in brass. Look at my rehab videos. We make a nice product. And it's because we want to cater to the person that appreciates those differences, that there is a correlation between quality of tenant and what they recognize as quality of product. There is a difference. That's what we found in our experience. And we see that because we're actually renting out to those renters on a daily basis and meeting with them and seeing their reaction. I love that reaction when they walk in and they're like, holy cow, this place is beautiful. I love that response. It makes it worth my time. That's actually one of the things I enjoy about this process, is taking a garbage space and turning it into that. But then guess what? They're not going to just leave, because anything else that they go look at isn't going to be as nice. It's not going to have nice cabinets. It's not going to have 7.25 base. It's not going to have the higher end LVP flooring that's easy to clean. It's not going to have any of that stuff, or the character of maybe, old wood. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. All right, just going to scroll down here. We use Lowe's High Hide white semi-gloss every day. Yep, good product. Yep. High Hide. Are they still? That's a huge price increase on that stuff, right? Because doesn't that have clay in it? That has some clay in it, and that was all Texas clay, and they had some big issue with the freeze last year, and that product, has that worked its way through the system? Would love to hear it. Chris Webb, excellent video on rising costs. Hey, thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was a painful video to make. I got to be honest. That video costs me. It was because of tens of thousands of dollars in costs. It sucked. Do I install hardwired dual smoke CO alarms in each unit, provide fire extinguishers? Okay. Yes, hardwire CO and smokes, because the CO and smokes are only a little bit more expensive than just smokes. Believe it or not, we will put, typically in the first floor, we'll put all CO and smokes in the first floor. Wherever the heating, if the heating source is in the basement, first floor, we'll pretty much do all CO and smokes. And then the second floor, we'll do all smokes. Because it won't make it past all of those COs, if you will, for carbon monoxide. But yeah, by law, they have to be hardwired. They can't be battery powered. So yes. Fire extinguishers, no. Nope. You'd have to check your local laws. I'm not an attorney. Don't sue me, bro. But my understanding is if you provide the extinguisher and it doesn't work, you're at fault. I think that's how it works. So I heard of somebody that would sell the extinguisher to the tenant for $1. That way he knew it was there, but then they owned it. So I've heard that in the past. Don't know if that's still the case. Let's see. Nokadon. Yeah, that was pretty slick how you were $400 less than the quote. Yeah. So Don, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, Don, you're a builder, right? I'm super excited. Don's going to be on the channel in the next week or two, where I'm just trying to find the right timing with all that we have going on, and winter just being lousy. Yeah, it was like a $70,000 roof, I think it was, and that was within $400. Yeah, that was just math, man. That was just math. I've done so many roofs in the last couple of years, man, because I like doing them. It's a great capital expense. And so when we're showing too much profit, we'll say, let's do a roof. And so we've gotten through, and a lot of our buildings have new roofs because of it. Because why pay taxes on it when I can invest in my building and make my asset worth more? I'd rather put that money in play and keep my contractors busy. And so if we have funds that we have to put into play, otherwise pay tax on them, I'll put it into play. It's like getting the roof at half price, so that's what we usually will do. So yeah, Crimson Knight. I can also save $1,000 doing the demo myself for the flooring. Yeah, I mean, if you got the time, I would do it. Just depends on, what you feel like it's worth. For me, $1,000 is $1,000. I probably wouldn't do it myself anymore. I probably wouldn't do it myself anymore, though. I'd probably have like one of the other contractors that has laborers, that are $20 an hour. I'd have them, tell them, hey, you've got a day. Can you do it in a day? They said, yeah, then I would just do it that way, as opposed to having the other company do it. But I have those relationships with some of those type of laborers where it's like, yeah, just, give them some money to go do the job. REI trainer. Some people are charging for quotes on work now. Yep. Probably worth it though, in my opinion. What do you think? Yeah. Some people are definitely charging for quotes on work. It really depends on what the job is for me, I think. It would depend on what the job is. I have a hard time paying somebody to do their business or to run their business. But it really depends on what the job is. I can tell you they're probably going to be pretty expensive if they're charging you for a quote, because they're probably not winning very much business for a number of different reasons. Either they're way too expensive and they're crazy, and so they got to make money on the some side. So I know that there's landlords that make money. They charge $75 for an application, but their application only costs $30 to get like background check and things like that. They'll actually do something called application churn, which I hate. It pisses me off. I don't agree with it. I think it's screwing people that need the money out of their hard-earned money, and that bothers me a lot. So for us, any amount you ever see from us is because this is what it cost us, period. We respect people. We respect their money. We respect how hard they work for theirs. We just ask them the same from us. But yeah, I've seen that application churn piece. But yeah, paying for a quote, I don't know, maybe for the right project, maybe I would look at it. I don't know. If any of my contractors are watching, you better not try it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think it depends on the project. I would probably look at it. It depends on what you think the project should cost. That's what I would look at. Matt Herbert, do you know what typical prices are for sheetrocking are these days? Is $70 a sheet in the right ballpark? Yes. Finished? Yep. That's cheap, actually. Yep, that's cheap. Especially on older construction. So Matt, if that is hanging it, mudding it, taping it, yep, that's a good price. Yep, because you're probably at least 20 to 25 bucks a sheet in material now between mud, tape, rock, screws, and getting it delivered and having guys unload it off the truck and put it into the house. So yeah, 70 is good. In our state, 70 is good. Yep, for me. Yeah, I just paid on a deal that I just did. It was resheeting 1/4 inch over existing lathe board and plaster, and then taping it to the ceiling, taping it to the trim, doing all of that work. And that was over $100 a sheet is what that project cost me. And that was a buddy of mine helping me out. Oh, still makes me want to puke a little bit. Horrible. I am all out of liquid. I have to lube up. I'm gonna keep on going. Yeah. So yeah, 70 seat. Yeah, Matt, good. That's a good number. Karen, how do you prefer tenants contact you? I want to avoid 2 a.m. calls for non-emergency problems. What if there is an emergency? Do you spell out what an emergency is? Yes, I do. Yep. Dion actually said it in one of his live streams, and then it occurred to me I'd never actually said it before. Fire, flood, or blood. Fire, flood, or blood. Other than that, keep it to yourself. Text me. Oh my contractors. Yeah, fire, flood, or blood. That's what I'm looking for. So I see we have 53 viewers. Super excited to have you guys here. I love it. This is actually the busiest live stream we've ever had. I'm super excited about that. That's awesome. I'm the Lumberjack Landlord. Name is Matt. I own a bunch of property, over 100 units with my wife, Mrs. Lumberjack, also known as Ashley, or mom, or wife. And we'll answer all your questions here. I'm trying to get through the questions as quickly as I can, but these are really good questions, guys. You're killing it with the questions. They're so good. Karen, that's a great question too. That's one that we always get. So I actually give them a letter, and then the letter, when I become their landlord or when they're renting the unit from me, whatever, I send them that letter and I say, here are the things I want to be notified of. Pick up the phone and call me. Do not text me. Do not text me you have a leak. Do not text me you have a leak. Call me if you have a leak. Yeah. Yep. If you have a leak, fire, flood, or blood. Yep. And I had somebody say, call me with a gas leak. Really? Really? I said, hang up right now and call the gas company. Well, you're the landlord. I don't have gas equipment. I can't shut the gas off. Unbelievable. I said, call the gas company right now. Hang up. She called me. Unreal. When starting out, did you identify yourself as the landlord or agent or the property manager? The owner. I actually always identify myself as the owner. That way they knew they weren't going to get away with anything. I just think that a lot of times tenants think they're going to get away with somebody with a property manager or somebody like, I'm the owner. If there's a problem, I'm the one that's going to handle it. I'm the one that's going to approve it or not approve it. And so if you have an issue, I want to hear it. I'll be happy to take care of it for you. But we've got a couple tenants this year that are trying my patience with the types of things that they're asking for. Like they break something, they want me to fix it. No, you broke it. Like the towel rod was fine. You broke it. Well, yeah, we one of my kids grabbed onto it, tried to hang from it, ripped it off the wall. Well, I'll fix that, but you're getting a bill. Awesome. Mia St. John. Hey, Mia, join late, but we'll watch replay as always. Very cool. Thanks for joining. Dion, talk financial freedom. All right. Dion always asks good, tough questions. In your units, do you supply blinds? Not always, but often, yes. The rule is if you're a tenant and you install it, you can't take it. It's a fixture. Once you have installed it, it's a fixture. What I have done is I have had tenants that are like, I want nicer blinds than normal. And so then I work with them and say, I will give you this much of a credit towards those blinds, but you have to leave when you leave. And I get to approve what you're going to put in because installing blinds is kind of idiot proof. I've only seen people make a mistake once or twice on them. So yeah, that's usually what I'll do. Yep. JC Blast. Hey, JC, what's up, buddy? Yeah, what's up? What are the benefits to interest-only loans if you're not paying the principal down? The only benefit to an interest-only loan is what your payment is. That's really the only benefit in my eyes. I'm sure there might be some other financial benefits, but in my eyes, it's because it just keeps your payment low, which I don't love. It's fine, I guess, but if I'm going to be paying down this property over years, the last thing that I want, don't start doing deals because they're really good deals with interest-only loans, because that's going to eventually reset. You're not going to be able to refi out. Your rate's going to be that much higher. I only want 30-year fixed rate debt. That's all I want. I have some commercial properties I can't get that on right now because they haven't aged enough, but 30-year fixed rate debt is all I'm focused on. That's what I want. 30-year fixed rate debt. Crimson Knight. So can you everyone why Nick is wrong? So can you, I would assume, can you tell everyone why Nick is wrong that the market will start crashing in the spring 30 to 40% because traffic to home buying sites and Google searches is falling off a cliff? I mean, he's just wrong. Nick is so reventure consulting is just wrong on so many levels. I mean, every other day, there's another reason why the market's going to collapse, literally like every other day. It's going to collapse 20 or 30% because of property taxes. It's going to collapse because of migration. It's going to collapse because of this, that, or the other. If California starts to collapse in real estate after they approve a bill to have socialized medicine or socialized healthcare, it's because of that. It's not because of any other reason, because it's going to double taxes. It's going to put a massive pinch on people, and then they're not going to have any choice but to leave. In fact, if you watch Mike Suver's live stream yesterday, he's actually talked to his wife about leaving California. He can still invest there, but he's actually talked to them about leaving California, that's amazing. That is some amazing, like, you heard it here news, except you heard it there first if you watch the live stream. So yeah, I think reventure consulting is just generally 1000% wrong about the market. I just think he's wrong. I don't see a 30 or 40% crash. I certainly don't see it in the springtime. I lived and invested through the Great Recession. We went from houses, it was 07 wasn't a great year. 07 was kind of a lousy year. It was an uneven year. It was a pukey type of year. And then 08 wasn't, was kind of worse and more of a malaise and more of an overhang. And then the bomb came, the Great Recession, September of 08 is when the market really just kind of went nutty. But the biggest issue there was, a lot of the bad debt had started to get into the system, so people couldn't refinance their loans. People had their 2 and 28s, which is 2-year payment which is a payment for 2 years on your house, but then 28 years, it skyrocketed based on what you paid the 2. So you had a lot of times where it would double the cost of your mortgage. And so that's where people really got crushed there, because then they couldn't afford to pay. Then it went into default within 90 days or 90 days late. Then 120, 160, 120, 150 was default. And then after 6 months, it was foreclosure, and the banks were taking the houses back. Now the mistake that they've learned is that they don't want that house back. They'll give you some latitude. With the market being what it is, even people, largely speaking, even if you bought last year, the market's up 20%. You can still sell and actually make money. If you bought today and it crashed or quote unquote crashed in the springtime, I believe a crash is greater than 20% correction. I think there are markets that will correct themselves this year. I don't think any market's going to be down 20 points. Could be wrong. I don't do a ton of research in those, but then again, neither does he. He looks at a chart and a graph and he tells you, oh, this is what the graph is saying. And he's wrong. Most of the time he's wrong as far as what the graph is saying. Or he's making a narrative based on 3 data points, and I'll consider all 10 data points so we can understand why the 3 are reflecting what he's reflecting. The fact of the matter is that the guy went from, a channel my size, about 1,000 subs, 1,000, 2,000 subscribers, up to 150,000 in like 8 months, 9 months, because it was panic and blood in the streets. I just don't play that game. And the fact of the matter is that I actually invest in real estate. He doesn't. He's an ex-underwriter. Sorry, contractor. But good. So for me, I just think he's just patently wrong. I would debate him any day of the week. I would bring numbers, facts, figures. Here's what I'm experiencing today. Here's what I see the market doing. I believe even now, and like I was talking to Mike, I said it 3 times this week in interviews that I had with Mike Zuber, with Dion, with another one that isn't live yet, but a mortgage broker. I just said, I just don't care what else is going on in the market. I don't care, because if my property is 100,000 more or 100,000 less, I'm buying it based on the payment and what my return on my income can be. It's a financial asset to me. It's an asset. I'm putting in $100,000. What return on that asset am I going to get? That's why Wall Street is buying up a bunch of houses, because they're saying, hey, it's inflationary. So they actually are calculating on some appreciation. For me, I account 0 appreciation, and I only look at what is my return on my capital. If I put $100,000 in and I'm going to make $30,000 this year, that's 30%. And that's net, not gross. You can't count the gross. You have to count the net. Now, a lot of deals aren't making 30%, but I have some that are. I have a lot of deals that are making in the 20s. Not a problem. Not a problem. Hip Hop Silver. Broker interviews 6 realtors. Ask for any of the realtors they know that rent houses. That way you can work with agents with skin in the game. Yep, that's a good idea too, Hip Hop. That's a good idea too. Yep. Yeah, so my best broker doesn't rent. My second best or second favorite broker, she actually is a rental agent as well and does a lot of volume. Yep. Con FL. Hey, Con, I've never seen you before. Welcome to the channel. Oh, hi, new to the channel. I just need to read a little bit more. Can you explain buy box more in detail, location, property type, etc.? Yeah, sure, Con. So buy box is really whatever you deem it to be, but it's looking at that specific asset. Let's say you say it's, so for me, it's duplexes. One of my buy boxes duplexes. My duplexes, it is every single unit, every single duplex that hits the market in my market, I actually track. Now, I don't track it in a spreadsheet anymore, but if you're new, you should. But I know right off the top of my head, I know what it's worth. I know what I can get for rents. So really, it's an exercise for new real estate investors to truly understand what the actual market is for that type of property. A, what it got put on the market for, B, what it sold for, C, how long it was on the market for. There's all of these different elements that you can track for your buy box. For me, I know my market cold. And so I know exactly when something gets listed, I know if it's a good deal, a great deal, or not a deal. But really buy box, and Mike Zuber from One Rental at a Time explains that. And there's a number of items on his channel that actually take you through that. But that kind of high level detail wise it's really about learning your market, learning the asset class that you want to invest in, and really getting to the point where you understand, okay, here's what a market average is. Let's say that house is $320,000 and you know what market average is. And then you know what market average is for rents for that house. And then you start to calculate what your return on capital would be when you make that investment. That's really what a buy box is. It's understanding what that asset is. But super excited to have you here. Matt Herbert, Tina from the bank. Awesome. See, good. We are working today on filling out the paperwork she needs to get us pre-approval. We're going to look at a property tomorrow. Very awesome. Network, net worth. Matt is somewhat local to me. He asked somebody that he knew in the market, generally speaking. He asked me, I gave him a banker's name, and she is a rock star. But I gave him the banker's name, and now he's able to go look at a property, and they probably have product for them. Guys, network is your net worth. It just is. You know, he watches me on Sundays and Thursday nights and watches some of my videos during the week. Thought enough to reach out in my market. If you're in New Hampshire or Northern Mass, yeah, I probably know people. I'll help. Network is your net worth. Mia St. John, do you have permits pulled on your properties for light, moderate renovations? On the stuff that so if we're doing, we follow the rule, right? So the rule in our state is if it's more than, I think it's $500. I think it's $500 or $1,000. It's something like that. But kind of the rule that we use is that, but a lot of times the renos that we're doing, it's like paint or changing out some light fixtures, stuff like that. Now I still have an electrician do it, but it's not $500. Like we don't pull a permit to do that stuff. The time that we pull a permit is on the demo. So if you are watching, if you guys have Instagram at Lumberjack Landlord, at Lumberjack Landlord, at Lumberjack Landlord, check me out. But look at Instagram at Lumberjack Landlord. I post something every single day there. That's my rule for 2022 is I will post one of our projects every single day there. If we don't have a project that day, you'll get a picture of my kids and I'll tell a story. Yeah. Yep. So we don't pull permits for everything, but we pull the permits for the stuff that we have to, if that makes sense. So yeah, like painting or changing out countertops or what else? Flooring. We don't pull a permit for flooring. Yeah. The roof, depending on your state or town, they'll say it's replacing in kind, so you don't need a permit. If you start to change out plywood, you do need a permit. Windows, you need a permit. I think if you're doing, it's certainly new construction. I don't remember if you need one for replacements. But demo, yeah, for sure. Yep. Yeah, that one that I posted on my Instagram, that was yeah, that's fully permitted job. Yep. And we pulled a permit for demo, but we didn't pull a permit for anything else because we didn't know what we're going to find. So I don't know if I have to replace the electric. I don't know if I have to replace all the plumbing. I don't know what I have to replace there, if that makes sense. Yes. Rob, I'm planning to build 2 ADU units on the lot with my duplex. Very cool. And I need to upgrade the electrical panel to at least 200. Yep, exactly. I'm told. Is there a reason to go higher? Higher than 200? I don't think so. Nope, not for basically what would be 4 units. Nope. I've done those projects before, Rob. If somebody recommended higher, I would have them justify it to me, but I don't think there is. Not that I know of. I've never seen the need to, based on what any of my electricians have told me on any of the projects I've done. So if you have 200 coming in, yeah, I mean, even for my 6 units, I have 200 service coming in. So yeah, I think you're fine, but I would talk to if they're saying you need more, I would have them justify it. B, I would ask the inspector. Inspectors can be a pain in the you know what, but a lot of times they'll actually protect you from an appraiser, or not an appraiser. They'll protect you from a contractor that's being overzealous or underzealous. They'll get you a quote and a number, and it's because they're giving you less than what you really should have on a given project. Hey guys, if any of this stuff is helpful, please make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, please make sure that you subscribe. Also, check me out on Instagram, Lumberjack Landlord. I will post something there every single day. If you're new to the channel, super excited to have you here. Please continue to ask questions. These questions are really good today, guys. Not that they're not pretty good every week, but damn, really good this week. Invest a wealth. Do you have an attorney look over your tenant landlord lease agreement? Nope. Even better. I had them write it. Had them write it. I didn't get one online. I actually, so I thought I told this story before. You will love this story. I promise. If you don't love the story, you can get off the live stream because it's that good of a story. I found, I have my attorney that I fight evictions with. And he is absolutely spectacular. And then I was like, you know what? I really want to make sure that I have a lease that my attorney can properly defend. Right? Smart. So that attorney is one that I used for quite some time. Loved him. I've got another attorney as well, but my other attorney, I actually searched for a attorney that also owned rental property. No joke. So I have an attorney that owns rental property, and he wrote his own lease. So I got his lease. Yep. So an attorney that fights eviction cases, that also owns real estate, he has his own lease that he uses. That's the lease I use. Now, when he goes into court, guess what? He knows that lease inside and out. He knows the letter of the law. So it is a pretty open and shut case if that person's going to lose, because he's accounted for everything in that lease. That lease is reasonable. It's only about 7 pages. And so it's a pretty reasonable lease. It's not, 16 or 18. So it's a seven or 8 page list, and 2 of those pages are signature pages. So pretty straightforward. So that's what I did. That's what I recommend everybody else do. I recommend that you find an attorney. Even better, find an attorney that is a landlord, and then have them write, ask them for their lease, because then it was something I didn't even have to pay for, which was even just as much my favorite, not having to pay for it. So that was pretty cool. Dimitri, Matt, with escalation clause, how do you know your realtor won't use your top number? Because they can't. Yep, to fish for higher offers or tell you to have to pay max amount. They usually don't have to show the other offers. So they can lose their license. They actually, by law, they can't tell the other person what your offer is. They can't tell them that you have an escalation clause. And they can't tell you how much that escalation clause is. The only thing that broker can go back and tell the other agent, or tell the other buyer. So we're talking about the selling broker communicating with you, communicating with somebody else. The only thing that they can tell them is that they have another offer, and that we've decided that we're going to go best and final. When they go best and final, did 5 people really drop off the live stream? Guess my story wasn't that good. I thought it was. I thought that was a really good story, and even more importantly, valuable information. Unreal. So yeah. So what you want to do? See the easy transition there. What you really want to do is, yes, make sure that, again, having the conversation with them, the only thing that they can do is tell them best and final. That's it. That's all they can do. Anything more than that, and you can report them to the Board of Realtors for the state. Yep. Dave Mellick, is there any good recourse against a grossly incompetent appraiser? Dave, are you trying to get me mad? Had an appraiser for a cash out refi come in 30% low, but had many factual errors from pure laziness, lost a deal as a result. Yes. You can report him to the state. You can report him to the state. Mm-hmm. Hey guys, everybody say hi to Tina. Hi, Tina. Tina's my banker. She's amazing. And see, Tina, I didn't even know you were here. And I said all these amazing things about you without you even being here. But yeah, she's spectacular. Tina's phenomenal. You really all should find people that are amazing at what they do. They completely change the face of your business. And she has done that for us. She knows that. So she's amazing. And I've told that to her many times. So she's great. So Dave, sadly, there isn't. So he said he could only find 4 comps after 6 weeks. We provided him 8 additional and a list of our entire rehab. Yep. Our comps were closer in spec than his in every metric. Yep. He refused to adjust on an appeal. Yep. He traveled from 350 miles away because he is blacklisted in his area by lenders, has been sued and lost multiple times, admitting to gross negligence in a deposition. It's well documented online. Yeah, I mean, your option is A, sue him. B, well, I would bring that to the bank. C, so where Tina is really awesome is that I give her data if I've seen something about something going on. And she's like, okay, let me read through it and I'll circle back with you. She will bring that to the powers that be at that bank, at my bank. And this is what I'm so proud of, is that that's why I love working with her, is that she never leaves a stone unturned. She'll have the conversation with you. And if there's nothing, sometimes she's come back and she's like, Matt, there's just nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. The only option that you have is to have another appraisal. That's the only option. And in a commercial setting, that's $4,000 or $5,000. That's pretty hard to stomach. That's pretty hard to stomach for sure. So yeah. Dave, I'm sorry. That's why I absolutely chide appraisers almost every turn. There's some decent ones out there. I'm working with one right now. He's spectacular. The data that he creates, the stuff that I present to him and say, this is why I picked these. This is why I think these. He's amazing at data analysis. And that's why whatever the number that he comes in at, I respect it. He's not gotten my number every time, but he actually also respects me because he knows I look at it a lot the same way that he does. It's just a mutual respect thing. He's great, but yeah, I've seen a lot of garbage appraisers that have gotten pretty lazy. We had one that I just reported and we got the number that we needed, but the experience was garbage. He didn't show up for one of the appraisals. He was late for another one, just garbage. And I reported that. I reported that to my bank. And he'll get put under review with the bank. And then they'll decide if they want to continue giving business anymore. REI trainer. Last summer, I lost on an escalation clause where the winning bidder outbid me by 1K. Yep. And it was 18% over asking. Yep. It had 7 acres, woods, and a nice stream on it. Ooh, wow. Crazy. Funny thing is it would sell for more now. Yeah, for sure. In this market, that's a rare property. I've sold one of those. If you guys look at the lumberjack, awesome lumberjack project on my website or on the on the YouTube channel, if you look at that video, that will tell you all that you need to know about the quality of what we do in some of our projects. And that was a project that I absolutely loved. Loved that project. And it was on a river, 5 acres, woods. Yeah, great spot. Loved that house. Very blessed for the house that we have, but loved that house a lot. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And to think landlords in Manchester are renting for less than housing. Yep, I see 2 2-bedrooms for 1025 and for 1200 when housing will pay 1400. Yep, someone needs to fire EJG property management. There's a lot of property managers out there that don't even keep track of what the actual market is. That's a problem. They base it on what they rented something else out for. Just, it's a little bit of a joke. So yeah, I strongly. Sorry, contractor. Yeah, guys, that's a first. If you're looking at a property management company, ask them what they think the unit's worth. Put in the time, send them pictures. Hey, this is what the pictures look like. Ask them what they think it's worth. Does that jive with what you think it's worth? If it doesn't, they certainly shouldn't be your property manager. Didn't see a garage. Sorry, contractor, making sure he's working, getting it done. That's all. When you are trying to get your first rental, how do you keep the fear of downside from investing? Oof. No, so I think the best life lesson that I've learned about fear has been I am far less fearful when I know the numbers cold. So I've become a much more fearless investor because I know the market cold. I know it inside and out. And so there might be other contributing factors, but Warren Buffett, Jamie Dimon, they're all stacking cash right now, waiting for casualties. They will buy companies for pennies on the dollar because there will be a market correction. Real estate, I'm sure there's going to be correction in some markets. Correction, not crashes. Crashes take time. Take time. I went through 07 kind of was lousy. 08 was kind of lousy. And then in September, it really started to get really bad. So that crash was over the course of 5 years. 5 years is how long that crash took. 5 years the market went down. So I expect, and that was in the Great Recession, but 52% of new loans that were being done were adjustable rate mortgages. So that just took years to work through the system, right? There were 3 million homes a year coming on market from the crash. 3 million a year for 3 years. It was just about 3 million a year for 3 years. Foreclosures, 3 million foreclosures. The banks have learned their lesson in some ways, whereas they don't, most people can sell their house right now and make plenty of money to cover all their costs. Most can, right? The some that can't, the bank could always either A, short sell it and say, okay, we want you to put it on the market, and they take a little bit of a hit, but it's not going to be a 20 or 30% loss. So I think for me, dealing with fear, it is the best way for me to deal with it is just know the market cold, know it inside and out, know more than the next guy. That's how I do it. That's the best silver bullet I can give you. That's the best silver bullet I can give you. I don't fear much. I really don't. There's things that you can't control. And at the end of the day, you know, my daughter's cancer diagnosis, I can't control it. There's nothing I can do about it. I still need to be a great dad to her, and I still need to be a great dad to my kids, and I still need to be a great husband to my wife. I can't control it. So at the end of the day, the only thing that I can do We pray. But yeah, the only thing that I can really do is that. That's all I can do. It's pray and put one foot in front of the other, and one day after the next, and do the next thing the best that I can do it, and the next thing the best that I can do it, and the next thing the best that I can do it. That's all I can do. So yeah, I wouldn't be fearful of these markets. What I'd be is, you can be cautious, but know your numbers cold. Know your numbers cold. Measure 3 times and cut once. There's nothing wrong with an extra measure every once in a while. So yeah, it's just a measurement. It really be measured, be measured in your approach. There's a lot of new real estate investors that I talk to. And for me, a year and a half ago, when COVID hit, when the great health event hit, a year and a half ago, it was scary because I had no idea, are half my people not going to pay their rents anymore? I don't know. The good news is I'd run a pretty good business. And so what was I supposed to do? Wake up every day afraid of my shadow? My only option was to engage my tenants. I sent them a letter. When everything started when it started to become like, this is going to be a thing. I sent them all a letter, and I just said, hey, first of all, we want you to be safe. Second of all, we care about you, not just as our tenant, but as a person. And so we love having you as a tenant. We want to make sure that the lines of communication are open. And so if you ever are in a position where you lose your job, where you've exhausted your savings, where there's no program that can help you pay your rent, please reach out to us. Let us know that you're struggling, and we'll do what we can to help. We had 2 people that had trouble, real trouble. Yep. We had 2 people that had real trouble, and we helped them. That's simple. We just helped them. So hopefully that's helpful for you from a lesson perspective. Crimson Knight, I have cheap labor for $20 an hour, 2 guys. Yep, that's what I would do. That's what I would do on that demo stuff. I would just tell them my expectation is you'll have it done in a day, and ask them, can you get it done in a day? Dawn, I refund the application fee if they are approved. Yeah, that's fair. Yep, I love that. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for I want people to consider the fact that it takes time and costs money to run them through a process. But I've seen literally landlords take 100 applications on a place. And even when they looked at the document, looked at the app, they're like, that person's never going to get approved. Why would you take their fee then? Don't do that. That's not right. Lionel again. Hey, Lionel. My refinance, $600K portfolio loan. Good. 3 years fixed at 4, or 5-year fixed at 4.25. Amortized 30. Should I take 3-year fixed or 5-year fixed? Why is it not 30-year fixed? Tell me why it's not 30-year fixed. That I'd like to know. Janet Santiago, this is one of the reasons I am your follower, Lumberjack. You are a man of high integrity, excellent business person. Happy to learn from you. Thank you, Janet. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, guys, treat people like people. We have 9 evictions in almost 3,000 tenant years. We treat people like they're people. We communicate with them like they're people. That's all. Treat them right. Now, you will get wronged. You will absolutely get wronged. You will see the worst side of humanity with some people, just the way that it goes. And you know what? That's okay. That says far more about them than it does about you. Handle yourself the right way. That's it. And it's tough for me because I really don't do well with excuses when I know that they can do better. So I just tell them calmly, you can do better. And if not, then we have to move on. I had that conversation with somebody on Friday. They're not respecting paying rent on time. They're not respecting that I have to be paid and that this is a service and that they've been stealing my service from me. So I just had the conversation. I said, I need to better understand why you're not able to make rent. And frankly, if you can't figure it out and you can't get it on time, then we need to part ways. Just that simple. So That's a pretty tough conversation to have. I won't lie. I don't love having that conversation, but you have to have it. It'll make you better. It'll make you better as a person. It really will. But do it calmly, do it respectfully. Even when they lose their temper, I've had people do that. And I'm a pretty big guy. If you guys don't know how big I am, take a look at Instagram this morning. You know, in boots, in my shoes, I don't know, 6'3" in my shoes and 275 pounds. And I have big, huge mitts. So I'm a pretty intimidating guy in person. I admit it. But some people get a little bit nuts. You just gotta de-escalate, have the conversation. But I appreciate you saying that, Janet. Don, man, I was getting ripped years ago. It was 110 a sheet installed tape and float for drywall. Yeah, 110 a sheet. Yeah. No joke, right, Don? Yeah, some of these numbers now, though. I mean, I'm over 100 a sheet. I'm definitely over 100. That's why 70 is great. I would make sure. Oh, you know what, Matt Herbert, I would just check with somebody and check the quality of their work. I would check the quality of work, make sure it's not garbage. I would want to see one of their jobs. So real quickly, I'm Matt, lumberjack landlord, real estate investor, 100 units. I have a wife that is Mrs. Lumberjack. She helps me with that. We're here to answer all your questions. Love spending this time with you guys on Sundays. We've been doing this for about 3 months now. Today, we've been doing it for about an hour and 45 minutes. We'll probably go about another hour or so. So if you have questions, please make sure. I'm actually almost caught up on questions. So we will get to your question faster than I've gotten to a lot of these other questions. So I apologize for how long it's taking me to get through the questions, but they're great questions. And for the people that are asking those questions, you're here to learn. I'm here to give you that answer based on what my experience was. So this is serving its purpose. So that's exactly what we want to do. Let's see. Calling a stream for now. Need to, oh yeah, lie down and fight my mythical disease. Only heard legends call. Only heard legends call the flu. Thanks, Crimson Knight. Appreciate you, my man. Hope you feel better. John Doe. Hey, Matt, can you recommend any good lease writing templates? I cannot. I don't know of any. Both of my leases I had written by my attorneys or by an attorney. The one thing that I would recommend is if you go to a meetup, if you go meet with other landlords, ask them for a copy of the lease that they have and ask them where they got it. I've actually taken a lease like that and run through it and taken parts and pieces of the lease that I liked and then presented that to my attorney that was writing my lease saying, I like this and here's why. Is this okay to do? I had a lease that one attorney wrote that another attorney reviewed, and he said the lease sucked. Obviously, I'm not sharing names. But yeah, no joke, that's actually happened. Hey, Justin Lord, good morning. Hey, good morning, Justin. Good to have you back. Karen Molnar, do you have a preferred brand of kitchen faucet reasonably priced, sturdy? And was so happy to hear last week and how well your daughter is doing. Miracles do happen. Sending continued prayers. Yes, they do. Miracles do happen. My daughter is living proof of that. She was diagnosed with a very aggressive and very rare cancer in September, and her scans from January 6th show that she is 100% cancer free. And so she is finishing chemo. She finishes chemo the middle of April, and then she does radiation treatment for 6 to 10 weeks after that. So we are hoping by June, she has done all treatments and that we get her clear bill of health and that she is healed of her cancer, because so far, so good. She's healed of her cancer. So we are very blessed. We thank you for all your thoughts. We thank you for all your prayers. We know prayer works. That's why we've asked for it. And why we continue to pray for ourselves. We're grateful for the thousands of people that are praying for our daughter and know that that really is the difference in the success that she's had, because when she was diagnosed in September, she was given an 8% chance to live. So the good news is she's doing pretty well. In fact, hopefully before the end of the live stream, we'll get a chance to show her off if she's awake. In fact, let me text my wife, see if she's awake. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram already, at Lumberjack Landlord, at Lumberjack Landlord, at Lumberjack Landlord, please follow me. I will post something every day this year. That is my goal. Post something every day this year from one of our projects every single day. I want to give you guys the experience of what I have as a lumberjack landlord. all the things that we do, all the services we provide, how we manage for our units, because I still self-manage my over 100 units. True story. Let's see. So Karen, so your question about faucets. I specifically like Kohler and Delta. Those are the ones that I most broadly use. Kohler is really expensive. What I'll typically try and do is I'll try and find Kohler on closeout somewhere, or if you look at the end caps in a Lowe's or a Home Depot, I said hose there, didn't I? In a Lowe's or a Home Depot, check the end cap. They usually have whatever they have that will be reduced pricing or clearance. They'll usually have it there at the end of an end cap. And there might not be a huge selection, but there might be one or two there to pick from. And if not, then when you're looking online, I look for Kohler and Delta. They're just, I've not had any issues with them, with those products. Others we had one that was a long neck. I don't remember. It was a brand that we found on, I think on eBay. We installed those 4, and within 3 years, we replaced 3 out of the 4. They all were like leaky, sprayer wasn't working properly. Like just, they were garbage. They were garbage. Yeah. Yep. Jay Markey, just a thought. Can you use smart thermostats with separate login for landlords to make sure tenants aren't letting temperatures get too low? Don't know if this exists. Yes, they do exist. You can do that with a Nest. I don't know the legality of it, because if they're paying for heat, technically you're spending their money. I don't know the legality of it, so I don't know if that's good enough. I don't know if that's allowed. What I can tell you is that I've used, in some cases where I'm paying for heat, I've used a specific type of thermostat where I'm paying for heat, and it caps out at what you can put the heat, period, in the story. Yep. The other thing that you can do too is you can create a second zone where if it goes below a certain temperature in, let's say, the basement, you could have it actually still send the unit to kick on. But again, that's if you're paying for heat. If a tenant's paying for it, I don't know what's legal. So I would check with your attorney. Price and Pride. Hey, Price and Pride. I think he just hides a second thermostat in the basement sometimes so that the lower limit can't be overridden. Possible. Yeah. John Texas, Reventure Consulting is a crash dummy. Zing. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Oh my goodness. I thought I almost got to the long. Oh wow. Look at that. Okay. Yep. You got the bean. We'll do a hi. Hi. Would you like to come see Daddy? Oh, hi. This is, oh yes. Look. You say hi. Look. You're up there. Do you see her up there? Who's that? Did you just learn to wave? Yes, she just learned to wave. Oh, did you just wake up? Are you very spirited?
She's ready to go back to bed.
Oh, you're ready to go back to bed already. Okay, say, hey, here. Say bye to everybody. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Here, say bye-bye. I know you're looking at Daddy's phone. Say bye-bye. All right, you ready to go back to bed? I love you. This is Eliana. She was diagnosed with cancer in September and now is cancer-free. Huh, yeah. Yes, cancer-free. And she finishes, yay, yay. She finishes treatment in April, and then she does radiation treatment until June. Such a good job. Do you like Daddy's jersey? Yeah, I love you. All right, you can go see Mama. Oh, night, pumpkin. So that is Eliana. All right, back to questions. Let's see. Jay Markey, do you use Google Voice so tenants do not have your actual cell number? Nope, I give them my actual cell number. Because again, I want to hear about the problem. I get like creating that extra layer, but if there's an emergency, like, yeah, I don't know. I'll still give them my cell number. It's just, I'm different. I get it. I still give them my cell number. Yep. Yep. 100%. We might consider, getting another cell. I think we're probably going to do another cell that Ashley and I will share that will forward to our phones. The reason why is because she does a majority of those interactions, a lot of the interactions, because she's the real estate professional. So we're still trying to figure that piece out, because we know that we can get better. The biggest change for us is the new software we chose, which is pretty awesome. That's the biggest change for us. So yeah, no Google Voice. D Cruz, do you supply washer and dryer in units that can accommodate them? Yes. And the reason why is because we pay for water and sewer, and in our city that is extremely, extremely expensive. So we will put the highest end, very efficient. They don't cost a ton of money to run. We would rather prefer to have those in there. And what we do is we recognize that we can get higher rents for those units. And so we get the higher rents and just basically take that cost on. For the most part, we haven't had issues with machines breaking. We average probably 5 to 7 service calls a year over, 60 or 70 units that have washer and dryer. So yeah, so we usually do that. Stephen Gutierrez, is NH the freest state in the union? Yes. Yes. Yes, it is, Stephen. Yes. Live free or die. That is our state motto. Yep, we are. Thank you for asking. JC Blast, do you subject to deals actually working subject to, sorry. Do subject to deals actually work, and do you think they're hard to come by? Talking about question by question, talking hard to come by. So yes, I think they're harder to come by. The sub 2 king is Pace Morby. That guy's the dude. He's the dude. There's another guy too who's really good. Chris Haskins also is very good. So sub 2 deals, I've never done one. Wish I could. Just haven't done one yet. So I don't, yeah, pace strategy. Yeah. Pace is the man. He's the black belt. T on Financial Talk Freedom. Someday I will pull a permit, but not today. JC Blast. Good one, Dion. Yeah, true. All right. I'm just going to block the strippers online. I don't think we need any of those right now. Invest to wealth. Thank you. You're welcome. Janitor on fire. I love it. You lost some viewers because of the NFL playoffs just kicked off. Yes, that's exactly right. I said that last week too, and I forgot this week's playoff weeks because the Pats got smoked last night, like they should have. Yeah, Eagles and Bucks. Yeah, damn, I should be watching that game too. Oh my goodness, that was loud. That's all. I have to drop off. Need to work. Great stream. Thank you, Vatzel. Appreciate that. Lionel Gann, should I pay for appraisal revised fees if they adjust 50K after my appeal for $125? Oh yeah, heck yeah. Oh heck yeah. Lionel, that extra 50K is worth the $125. 100%. 100%. I would do that on every deal that I had. If they said, yeah, we can get you, it's a very, very, very small investment to make in the process. So if I were in your shoes, or for me, I don't know about being in your shoes, in my shoes, I would do it. Invest to wealth. My current tenant landlord agreement is 20 pages. Holy cow. Manny, that's nuts. That's crazy. Funniest tenant request in 100+ units experience. Go. Funniest tenant request. Funniest tenant request. Dude, that's a lot of years. I don't think I've ever been asked that question, John Williams. John Williams, well done. Funniest tenant request. Hmm. Boy. Oh, well, one that I thought was pretty funny was, so we'd really like a second bathroom. Can you add a second bathroom? No. No. What, just because we're friends? Because I want to spend 10 grand? No, no, I'm not adding a second bedroom, bathroom. No. You got the house for what it is. I'm not adding a second bathroom. We got asked that. What else? That's the one that comes to mind. There have been other, yeah, there have been other some like weird requests. Oh, hang something from the ceiling. I was like, what? To like hang something from the ceiling. I was like, no, I understood you asked to hang something from the ceiling. Like what? Uh Never mind. I wrote back, I was like, question mark. They're like a swing. I'm like, no. 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 Still no. Yeah, no. So those are a couple that I can think of. Invest to wealth. Like the idea of having an attorney who wrote the lease. Yeah, I'm telling you, invest to wealth. So I think that's Manny. Yes, please, please, please have it, at least have the attorney that you plan on having fight for you in court. Make sure that they've read the lease. And if there's something that they disagree with and they're like, yeah, I'm an expert, I fight in court 6 cases a week. Like one of the attorneys that I have, six cases, like 6, that's, I didn't pull that number out of the sky, 6 cases a week he's in there doing. A week. At a minimum 6. So he's seen tons, hundreds of leases. So I want to make sure that I'm putting him in the best position to be successful, which then equals my success. So yeah, absolutely 1000%. Yep. I like attorneys reviewing those. Justin Lord, you should know your rent for your area. Yep. The few property managers I've dealt with overinflate the rent. Yep. I think they are just looking for higher commission and want it rented now, not in 3 months. Yeah, so it's this kind of the same thing, you know, depending on the agent too. Like I had one agent that priced a property, not one of mine, but a friend of a friend's, priced it at 375 and it sold for 455. It was way underpriced. It never should have been priced for that. It was even at 450, it was really well priced. 375 was a I don't know what I'm doing number. It was just, it was laziness. It was laziness on the broker's part. But to the credit to the buyer, they knew that it was laziness. They knew that it was worth a lot more. They knew that the numbers showed, quite frankly, the numbers actually show it's worth more like 500. So even at 455, they got a pretty good price. And I know you're watching, and yeah, that's your deal. That's a deal that I know specifically. Yes. Dion Talk Financial, Baby Yoda says, hit the like button. Hey, thanks, Dion. Appreciate that. Yeah, hit that like button. If this is helpful to you guys, give that like button a tickle. I won't say smash it. That's somebody else's thing. I will say tickle that like button though. Lionel Gann, the bank doesn't have 30-year fixed program for their portfolio loan. Okay. Yeah. So Lionel, my belief is I think rates continue to climb. So the last thing that I want is rate exposure. So for me, how I review my portfolio, I don't want rate exposure. So the more I can elongate my maturity rate, the more I can elongate it, the more I try to elongate it. 3 and 5 is scary though, because you could be looking at, you could be looking at a pretty small number now and a pretty large number then. So for me, is there any other bank? Like, have you even looked at maybe like a non-QM loan? Because I would pay a little bit more money on a non-QM loan, and then have it 30-year fixed. Cause I think rates very easily, I'm on record as saying, I think they're 4%. I think mortgages are 4% by June, July. I think they could be in the 4s, mid 4s, all the way up to 5 by the end of the year. That's what I believe by the end of the year. Heard it here first. Not crash, just increase rates. Don, I take applications one at a time. I won't take a bunch of applications just for the income. That's exactly right, Don. Don does it the right way. Don's a great investor. I'm very excited to speak with him. Don't do application churn. That's a lousy thing to do to people that are already having trouble making ends meet. Don't do that. Chris Miller. Matt, were you finding most of your deal? Where are you finding most of your deals right now? Deals off MLS are bid up so much with zero contingencies. They are no longer good deals and the risk becomes substantial. That's amazing about your daughter. We've been praying for her. It's truly a miracle. Yes, Chris, thank you very much for your prayers. We have done, so the last, let's see, last deal I did was MLS. Deal before that was wholesaler. Deal before that was MLS. Deal before that was MLS. Deal before that was wholesaler. So all over the place, wholesalers, MLS. You can, again, if you're just working on skinny margin and that's the issue for why deals aren't worth doing, I get it. It has to make sense in your buy box. It has to make sense in your return on your capital. I get all that. So yeah, it might be one of those things where your markets become a lot more expensive. Look at the affordability index. Try and take a look and see at that and what that what that's telling you about your market. Our affordability index went back down to 104, but that's equates to a 4 like it does in Fresno. So yeah, 4 is no good. 4 is extremely unattainable. Extremely unattainable. Very expensive. Yep. Jay Markey, sorry, I missed one. Karen Mulner, thank you. Following you on Instagram. Hey, thanks, Karen. Yeah, I'm going to put stuff out there every day for you guys. Every single day, you will see a picture from me from one of our job sites and what issue we were working on and what we handled that day. I pray that there's no issue some days and you just get a nice picture of my kids in front of one of our properties. So yeah. Jay Markey just viewed an up-down duplex. Yep, everything was good, except there was no way for the upstairs tenant to access the basement without exiting the property and re-entering through an exterior door. What would Lumberjack Landlord do? I would buy that property still. If the numbers work, that's not a big one. Yeah. Not ideal. But in an upstairs, in an up-down duplex, they're rarely going to have, there is such a rare occasion that they would have access to the basement via a stairwell. That would be so rare. So for me, it really comes down to, do the numbers work? I don't think that that's the difference between a place renting and not renting. I think you don't take a discount rents. I think you still get market rents in a place like that, so long as everything else is in line with what the market is, like, finishes and things like that. So that would not be something that would hold me off. That's what Lumberjack Landlord would do there. I am the Lumberjack Landlord. My name is Matt. Super excited to have you guys here in the live stream today and to ask your questions. Even if you're new, there's no such thing as a stupid question. So we would love to have you. Tennessee Tweety retracted her message. Tennessee Tweety, I would love to hear your question. So if you do have a question, feel free to hit me up. I am here and I will still be taking questions for quite some time. Karen Molnar, Eliana is so pressured. God bless. Thank you very much. She is amazing. Dustin Walker, Wachter. I still don't know how to say your name right. Matt, amazing ideas on choosing an attorney based on evictions, those that own rentals. I've got to take notes during these live streams. Well, yeah, Dustin, I don't do this stuff for my own health. This is good stuff, but appreciate you saying. Justin Lord, prayers work. Yeah, they do. Absolutely, my man. They work. They work. Dustin Walker, you've probably covered this in videos before, but what tenant requirements do you use in placement? Credit score, income, etc. So I look at who was it? Somebody asked, I want to say it might even been Ryan Pineda, or maybe it was Spencer Cornelia from One Rental at a Time. We, for the longest time, didn't really do applications. We do them now, but it's a very abbreviated application, like really abbreviated. Credit score, just a simple snapshot of like Credit Karma will take. And then no evictions in the last 7 years. And income. So pay stubs, last month of pay stubs. And proof that they've paid their landlord the last 3 months, not cash, proof. Here it is coming out of my account. That's how we, when we're not using a program, when we're not using like a housing program, for them, usually with them will be a little bit more lenient on credit score, because their rent is being paid for, but we still look at the other factors as well. Yep. John Doe, I'm in Florida. My AC unit is in the attic. Drain needs bleach and hot water flushed through with filter change 4 times a year. Okay. Should I do it or put it on the tenant? Filter is tricky to change. I would not put that on the tenant. There is no way they do it. Nope. There is no way they do it. I would absolutely do that yourself. Yep. That's smart, John. That's a great question. A lot of landlords help thyself, right? A lot of us will say, oh, I'll just put that on the tenant. Convenience factor. Yeah. Tell me how convenient it is when you're fixing something that they didn't do, that they avoided doing, that they didn't check on. Yeah. Yep. That they did. Yeah. Literally, I've just, we have one building that it's just at the bottom of a hill. We've swaled drainage. I mean, we've done everything we could to get water to not come into that basement. And still, in one of those heavy torrential rainstorms, it will get water. The only thing that we've asked them is, if it gets crazy water, please just check the basement. They didn't check the basement. And then it's a duplex. The neighbor next door went downstairs and was like, hey, the basement's full of water, right? Nah, I didn't. So we just go and visit now. Yep, not worth it. Yep. Oh, sorry, I missed your question, Matt Herbert. What model washer and dryer do you put in your units? Usually GE, Maytag, or Whirlpool. Usually GE, Maytag, or Whirlpool. Not LG, not Samsung. Nope. Oh, awesome. Cool. Finally got to where I'm not feeling so far behind on my questions. Cool. Very awesome. John Doe, Eliana's gorgeous, by the way. Thank you very much. Yeah, she's an amazing kid. She is really an amazing kid. The cancer treatments are rough. She just got finished 5 days in the hospital. There's no comfortable position in those horrible cribs. So Ashley has to hold her a lot, feeding while she feeds, while she sleeps. It's a tough go. And it's tough on the whole family because it's the other 2 kids I'm home alone with. I have a full-time job plus doing a landlord thing, plus I'm quarantined, so I can't go anywhere to actually fix stuff. So this week was a really hard week. It was a really hard week. I won't lie. It was a really hard week. There was a lot. 17 below zero, 0 again today, really cold. It was a hard week, but we made it through. We're blessed. Was really pumped to have them come home really late on Thursday night. We always try and get them home a day early from the 5-day. So it's not Monday through Friday. It ends up being Monday through Thursday night. And then the kids get to wake up the next morning and see mom and the baby home. So yeah, we're blessed. We're blessed. Thanks for saying. John Williams, make it a video if you can't recall. Yeah. Yeah. So John Williams, I will definitely, I'll talk to Ashley about it tonight. I want to know what struck in her mind, but yeah, I want to know what struck in her mind for sure. Invest to Wealth. If you have to send plumbing out and during drain clean out, plumbing found something tenant shouldn't have flushed down the toilet, cost $258. Would you charge the tenant? Yep. Yep. I just did. Somebody stuck a feminine product down the toilet and it got stuck in the pipe and caused other stuff to get stuck in the pipe. And I always tell our drain guy, if I need you to pull out whatever it was, I need you to pull it out because I want to see it. I want to see what it was. Because if it's on them, it's on them. If it's on me, it's on me. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yep. Yeah, I would charge them. Yep. Rob, what do you think about vinyl sheet flooring? Are they durable? Don't know. Haven't used it. Feels to me like linoleum. And the reason I like the click lock specifically is if somebody really digs in and drags across 2 or 3 pieces, I can cut those pieces out and section in new pieces. And it costs me $10 in material and I don't have to do the whole floor. That's why I don't like sheet much of anything, because sheets, especially on flooring, if they get damaged, then you got to bring the whole entire thing up. So for me, I've not used it, but I've purposefully not used it because of how it doesn't work, or how I believe it doesn't work. Karen Moger, Dion, you mean Grogu, haha. But I still call him Baby Yoda. Oh yeah. Yeah. Price and Pride, a swing or a sling? Price and Pride, I'm guessing sling. But I wasn't going to ask. The answer was no on a swing or a sling. So yeah, well done, Price and Pride. Justin Lord, sorry I didn't explain more. I was referring to rentals, not sales. Oh, okay. Justin, let me just roll up a little bit, Bo. Let me roll up a little bit, my man. Just Justin, can you re-ask your question? I'm sorry, or remake your point. I apologize. I will not find that very easily if I look. Hip Harp Silver. I loved the plugs with the USB charger. Yep. Law in our state, any plugs within 8 feet of running water must be GFI. Yeah. So I think ours is 5 feet. I want to say. And so usually in a typical kitchen, so for us in a typical kitchen, usually that outermost outlet is 5 feet away. So yeah, but yeah, anything that close to a sink or whatnot. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Those USB outlets are awesome. Our tenants, love them. I mean, again, it's just a little convenience thing. And then, a normal outlet costs $2. Those I buy in bulk for $8, I think, between $5 and $8. So, but how many of those am I going to put in the house? 5, 6, it's an extra $50, $60. Easy. Yep. Easy. Jay Markey, thanks, Matt. This live stream is my new Sunday morning ritual. Oh, thanks, Jay. I appreciate that. Appreciate it. Love having you guys here. I love talking real estate and hanging out with you guys. So yeah, I love doing it. Again, my name is Lumberjack Landlord. Easy for me to say. Lumberjack Landlord, here to talk about real estate investment stuff. Any questions, rehab, banking, market, rentals, tenants, other landlords, appraisers, real estate agents. I cover it all. You name it, I cover it all. And I've done a lot of the rehab work myself, and I pick all my own materials. I do all my own design. So I'm pretty elbows deep in it. So if you have questions, ask. Jason Mitchell, have a duplex with water sewer bills 2x typical, which I pay. Yep. Can't pass on to tenants. Yep. Due to state law. Yep. When only 1 meter. Yep. How do you handle? So the first thing that you need to look at is the first thing you need to look at is your toilets. You're probably, so the lowest flow toilet that's worth it is the lowest. So the lowest is, I think, 1.28 for a flow on a toilet. Those are great toilets. A majority of what gets flushed is fluid, so they will save you a ton. And even if they have to double flush a solid, you'll still make up for it in the end. So 1.28 flush. If they are 1.64s, I will keep them. But a lot of the older toilets are 3.5s. You are literally using 2.5 times or 3 times as much water as you should be per flush. That's the first thing. So I look at toilets, number one. Number two is shower. The shower head. Some people like these super end high flow heads. Sorry, not so long as I'm paying for water and sewer, especially in a B class apartment. Especially in a B class. Nope. Nope, because the money's just not there to cover that type of expense. I had one person that was saying that they go through their entire tank of hot water in 8 minutes. Somebody has a high flow shower head. We swapped it and she's like, yeah, fix the problem. You don't say. Now if she complains again, I'll know it's because she changed her shower head again. So I would check with toilets first. You might have a slow leak. If you're 2x. But yeah, I would start with toilets. I would start with, have you talked to a plumber yet to see if they have any thoughts as well? Water sewer bills. Yeah. 2x typical. If it's water sewer, then you're just using twice as much. You're probably using twice as much water, which then equals the extra sewer. Because they don't separately meter sewer. They make it they figure if you bring in this much water, you're getting rid of this much water. Yeah. Yeah. I would look at toilets. I would look at toilets. You can also have them do a dye test where they actually will, plumbers can put dye in a certain, either in the toilet or down a sink. And then they can look at they can open up the access point on your drain, your main drain, and they can see that it's passing through. But I don't think that's a drainage issue. I think that's a usage issue. Yeah. Yeah, toilets. I would toilets, shower head. Are they watering the lawn or washing their car? That could be a thing too. I usually eliminate outside spigots. Unless it's a higher end property and they want to pay for it, I usually eliminate them. So Jason Mitchell, give me some feedback. Hip Harp Silver, as a landlord, if you have an air tank, you can blow air to unstop an AC drain and save $150 service call. Yep, that's true. I've done that. Janet Santiago, Matt, do you handle 3 meters on a triplex? Yeah. So yeah, I have some triplexes. Yep. I have singles, dupes, tries, quads, 5s, 6s, 8s, 9s, 12. 12 is the biggest one I own. Yeah. Yep. Yes, indeed. Lionel Gann, I have $75 for any service repair call from my tenant. Is it a good idea? No, I don't think so. So we don't have a service repair call because we want them to report if there's an issue. And I don't want them making the judgment of whether something or not is an issue. And I don't want them, them not reporting it because they're afraid they're going to get hit with a $75 fee. I think that you could have something, I mean, if something's clearly been a tenant, I've just sent them the bill and said, this is why we're sending you this invoice, because this was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. You did it. You shot yourself in the foot. Wasn't us. You did it. So you're gonna have to pay the bill. And then if they don't, I just talk to my attorney and find out if it's something that we can pull from their deposit when they leave. That would be the conversation I would have. Literally, that's step by step what I would do. J303. Hey, J303. Never had you here before. Super excited you are here. What is something you must have included in your landlord insurance? Wife and I have been doing the work and are in position to buy our first rental. Cool. But don't know what is a must concerning insurance. So I don't know if they call it something different in different states, but I can tell you in New Hampshire, the only difference is a landlord policy, which is really just a fire policy, and it covers the building and it covers the rents being covered by the insurance company for the time that it's being redone. A normal insurance policy, like a homeowner's, has all sorts of frills in it, right? Insurance, property, personal property, those types of damages. And so it can be more than for just a fire. Really, when it comes to a landlord's policy, they call it a fire policy because that's largely what it covers. There's other stuff that it covers. I honestly, I haven't looked recently. It's been forever. We had a claim years ago. Girl and a boy broke up. Boy thought it was not the right decision for her to make. Broke in the house when he knew she wasn't home, and started a fire in the basement, trying to burn the house down. Allegedly. All of his social media pointed to the fact that he did it, but the detectives didn't feel like they had a case. So insurance had to pay for it, and the bill was about $32,000, I think, because where he set the fire, I had to buy a brand new electrical panel. I had to buy a brand new boiler, and the boiler was only a year and a half old. That made me cry a little bit because I'd saved up to buy that boiler, so that hurt a little bit. So the only thing that I would do is I would talk to your insurance agent, just make sure you're very, very clear at this is what it is. And I would be getting insurance through an agent that understands rentals. They understand rentals, right? Yeah, that's what I would do. I would just make sure you're doing that. And I would talk to other landlords about what they're using for insurance. Because for us, we got to a certain point where we really had to go kind of broker market, not just like calling up State Farm or whatnot. State Farm has a lot of policies of ours, but it's usually single family homes, and it's obviously our cars and stuff, but like single family homes. Yeah. But duplexes, tris, and quads, their rates are horrible compared to the other rates that we've gotten. And the other rates that we've gotten will also allow us to do a much higher deductible. So we do like a $25,000 deductible because we save like $40,000 a year on insurance because we have that high of a deductible. It's just kind of a no-brainer for us. Yeah. John Doe, hip harp 1. I use my big shop vac. Yep. At the end of the drain outside, works good. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Yep. J Markey, do you recommend annual or semi-annual visits to properties to service HVAC units, change filters, shut off outdoor spigots, etc.? Or is that all tenants' responsibility? Yeah, you can make it their responsibility. They're not going to do it. They're not going to remember. They're not going to remember that stuff. For us, we usually just have that day. We do like one day, but I'll, hire that out. The thing that you want to do for your properties is create, kind of a list, what I call a property card. create a property card that says, here are all the ones that have outdoor spigots. That's what I would do. Then, you need to shut all those off. What else? I mean, that's the big one. Yeah. And then change air filters. Everybody says 6 months. Yes, you want that, 6 months is optimal, can be 12. So we change it. We, change it as a renewal when the lease comes around. We've done that for sure. Yep. My buddy Tina, best banker ever. Yeah, so we've done all that stuff. I'm trying to think. So I'm the Lumberjack Landlord. We do rental properties. We have over 100 of them. Been doing it for 20 years, invested all the way through the Great Recession. If you're new to the channel, please hit like, please subscribe. In fact, if you've been listening for any amount of time, I've given a ton of information. Just hit that like button, give it a little tickle. Appreciate it. And yeah, I'll be here for another half an hour answering your guys' questions. J303, thanks for the great answer and content you and the other two amigos provide. Happy to do it. I think Dion's still with us hanging out. He's probably gaming right now, knee deep in goblin goo somewhere. I think I can speak for the whole community and say we appreciate you three. Oh, thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. Happy to do it. Love doing it. Wish it was around when I was breaking into business. I learned a lot of bad lessons. Not bad, expensive lessons, hard lessons. Tenant selection was horrible in the beginning. Property selection was horrible in the beginning. Yeah, we've had some rough goes of it. Well, I had a rough go of it starting out, but that's fine. John Doe, any experience using Cozy for property management? No. In fact, Matt Herbert, I think, uses Cozy. And Matt and his wife can correct me if I'm wrong. In fact, give me 1 second here. I'm pretty sure they use Cozy. Yeah, I can't find it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they use Cozy. Don't have any experience with it. Don't know if it's any good. We evaluated Hemlane. We evaluated Appfolio. Hemlane, I think, and I don't want to. Hemlane we liked Hemlane. I think we're just a little too big for Hemlane. We're over 100 units, and I think that their sweet spot is 99 or less. So I think we're a little bit too big for Hemlane. We need a lot heavier. Yep, there he is, Matt Herbert. We bought by apartments. Oh, really? Was it really? Hopefully that's a good thing for it, Matt Herbert. Yeah, so we decided we bought Door Loop. Freaking awesome. Awesome product so far. Like impressive. The only thing that I saw that I didn't love was in order to send a mass text message, you have to buy a unit of 500. That costs $10. So each time you want to send a mass text, it's going to cost us basically $5. It's not a big deal, but again, if you have to do 3 or 4 of those in a month, it's just $20 extra that you wouldn't have to spend with like Appfolio has that built in. But the really cool thing that Doorloop has is you can actually bring in a spreadsheet like from your credit card, and you can actually take the amounts and drag and drop them and assign them to the different properties. That's freaking awesome because we use that credit card 10 times a week at least. So that's 40 or 50 transactions a month. And so that drastically cuts down on Ashley's time when she's doing that stuff where she doesn't necessarily know where that unit was. And there's no real good way to do that in the store unless you're using like a Home Depot or a Lowe's card. And we don't really have a Lowe's that's that close to a lot of our stuff. A lot of our business goes to Home Depot. And we know enough people there where they can help us through any problems that we might have. So yeah. Tennessee Tweety. Oh, she came back. Hi, Tennessee Tweety. Bought my first duplex. I use a different contractor on each side to better educate myself. Any additional advice? Well, congratulations on your first duplex. That is awesome. I'm super pumped for you. That's great. I really think that's cool how you use a different contractor on each side. I think that's an awesome idea to better educate yourself. Any additional advice? I mean, do you have a couple hours? A lot of advice. Narrow it down for me. And is there something that you have a question about? I'm happy to answer it. Something that you're thinking about, or, something like that. Yeah, let me know. Happy to answer. Matt Herbert, cozy was really nice, perfectly suited for small landlords and totally free. Yep. Apartments buyout was not great. Didn't think it would be. The interface was completely reworked and became difficult to find anything. There you go. That's why I hate acquisitions. So my real life, I'm actually in the software world. I've been a company that was acquiring. I've been acquired. And I have, I mean, both sides of it. There's no other sides. And yeah, sometimes it was awful. Sometimes it was really good. That's really hard. That's what we actually like about Door Loop. What we actually like about Door Loop is that they're definitely in the growth phase, and they're venture backed. So because of that, there's not this big concern that they're going to sell. Their goal will be definitely to get revenues way up, do amazing stuff, be cutting edge, newer platform, easy mobile. That was one of the things that I liked, because right now today, their product from today, from where it was a year ago, is significantly better. The only downside to Door Loop, and again, this is just a downside for other investors, is it's $280 a month for a flat fee. So they're really built based on you having up to 200 units. So even now we're paying, $2.80 a month per property, but well worth it with all of the technology that they deliver. Like, we can actually create a ticket in a system and then assign it to a contractor, and they can literally just hit the button. John Doe, good question. I think Matt was actually looking. I think Matt was actually looking for a different product. Because yeah, I did hear that theirs got kind of clunky. I did hear that with their new interface. Yeah. So you can look at Henlane. Another free one out there that I hear a lot about is Stessa. I don't know if it's any good though. 350, 35, 10. How are you going to count down about 350, 35, 10? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Hip Heart, help me. Oh, the days. I don't know. I don't know what that is. 350, 35, 10. Is it, I mean, so Mike's, are you talking about days until I retire? Maybe. I don't know. Tell me, I'll answer. REI Trainer, Matt, you should do a whole live stream on contractors and the handyman. It's probably one of the most misunderstood parts of the business. Yeah, sure. I'll do that. We'll cover it as a topic next week if you want. I probably should do a video, actually. You're right. That'll probably replay, because getting it stuck on the 3 hours is a lot. John Doe, I am still mostly on apartments. Yep. And I'm getting used to it. I have set up my newest tenant on Rent Ready, which so far seems pretty good. Yeah, so Rent Ready, I think we looked at that too. Yeah, I think there was just some things missing from an enterprise perspective, like larger stuff. But Rent Ready seemed decent. But I think Matt Herbert's taking the right approach. Put a property in there, maybe a couple of properties in there, and see how it is to work with it. We did that for some time with Door Loop and just really liked it. We did that with Hemlane too. Just didn't really like it. Wasn't really a fit for how we do business, but still a good product. And great company. We were really disappointed, quite frankly, in not picking Hemlane, because we really liked working with them. But yeah, it was just one of those things where there were a few things that we needed. Stessa, assets backwards. Yep, is really for tracking financials on properties, not a complete property management system. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Hip Hop Silver, yeah, retirement. Okay, so retirement. So for those of you who don't know Mike Zuber, One Rental at a Time, We do we do 3 sessions a week. We do Tuesdays, we do Thursdays with the Three Amigos, and Fridays he comes on my channel. And so love working with Mike. Mike retired at 45 years, 6 days or 6 months and 15 days. So I made a joke on a live stream one day or on a, yeah, I think it was, no, video. And said I would retire the day before he did. So 45/6/14. So that was the big joke. So 45/6/14, I believe for me is January 4th of 2023, I think. So we'll see. We'll see. Any big announcement? Yeah, yeah, it would be a huge announcement. But a countdown. So I don't know about a countdown because I don't. So for those of you who know me or have watched more of the channel than others, I'm not a goal setter. I just want to do what I'm doing and continue to execute. So I'm not one of those guys who's I'm going to add 10 units. That's not what I play. I'm going to get to this amount of money. That's not what I play. I just play daily execution of what I know is a model that works. That's all I do. And so, yeah, so I don't think it counts. So I like the idea, but I don't think I'm going to do it only because I really don't know if I'll retire in that time frame. I really don't. I can, but I just don't know if I will. Yeah, I don't know if I will. Don't know if I will. The big thing for me is it will change a lot. This is 2020 or 2021 is the first year that Ashley will qualify as a real estate professional, which is 750 hours, but it's because she left her nursing job. So I don't know. So we'll see. I might retire. It won't be just so I can beat Mike. As much as I would love to beat Mike at something, it would be nice. Tennessee Tweety. Love the Three Amigos. Definitely need education with contractors. They are constantly revising the SOW. Yeah, no kidding. Probably my fault due to lack of skills. Tennessee Tweety, you are in every boat. Everyone is same as the rest. What I would recommend to you, Tennessee Tweety, in that regard is general contractors will constantly move that scope of work because the contractor underneath them or even their company doing that part of it will, oh, well, there's this, and oh, well, there's that, and oh, well, there's this. Okay, but you knew you're going to have insulation on the wall that you were going to have to get rid of anyway. So why are you upcharging me for getting rid of insulation on the wall? Like you knew that was coming. A lot of them don't want to do that kind of scope of work. And so I look at it as I tackle project by project is what I've done in the past, which is I go and I find the best demo number. Now it's more work and I'm not just calling up a GC and he's not just showing up and doing all the work. Had I used a GC on the project I'm working on now, I would have been charged $20,000 for demo. I got demo done for 6. Got it done for 6. Why did I get it done for 6? Because I went to a bunch of different demo companies and said, what will you do this for? And they said 6. 6 was good. 6 is fantastic. What show's that from? I love 6. So instead of 20, if I used the GC, he was 20. Now he had another part of the project that he quoted where he was not the best price, but I felt like he had best understanding of what the project was going to entail. So he got that piece of the project. And that works for me because demo has nothing to do with dormering a roof. Don't have anything to do with the user. It's easier on me. So the one thing that I would tell you is shop and search, not for a GC that will do your whole entire project, but search out and find people that do demo. Find the electrician, find the X, find the Y. It might take you a little bit longer. But still worth doing because it will save you a fortune instead of just hiring a GC that's going to say, oh yeah, $20,000 for demo. Who are you using to do this demo? Finished carpenters? Plumbers? It shouldn't be that much. And then also, obviously, before you do demo, make sure you got your heat situation set up and also that you have your water shut off. Somebody ripped the toilet and actually ripped the plumbing line with the toilet. And I'm like, why? He goes, well, it should have been off. I go, really? Check it first. So Tennessee Tweety, let me know if that was helpful. Matt Herbert, by the way, thanks for recommending Mark Kohler channel a few weeks ago. Yeah, sure. I've been watching his stuff and learning so much about the tax side of things. Yeah, he's the man. He's awesome. Like, we're shopping for our version of Mark Kohler right now. We are. We've got this long letter written, and I won't share it because it's got all of our personal financial data in there. But we've got all of the information in there, and we're sending it out to 4 or 5 people that we've gotten recommendations about, and we're waiting to see the response back. So yeah. John Doe, hey Matt, do you do inspections on your units? If so, how often? Yes, we do inspections. How often? It really ranges. It's nothing fixed. It's not like every 90 days or every 180 days or every year. It's not fixed. There's not a unit that we have out there that we haven't been in within the year. So we make sure that we're in every single unit at least once a year. But that's really rare that it's only once in a year. It's more than that usually. So we don't make them, if you will, if that makes sense. Hip Harp 1 silver. Oh Lord, it's 1099, 1098, 10. Yeah. It's yeah. As far as the countdown for the retirement thing, yeah. I mean, it's I'm kind of interested to see what life is going to look like then. Like, just a lot of stuff. The everyday Saturday thing really appeals to me, like what Mike has. I've got the YouTube thing. I don't do it as much as he does for obvious reasons. He's got a little bit more time than I do. But I love doing this. I love helping people. I love hearing these questions. I love hanging out, talking about real estate. So I don't know. We'll wait. I don't know. We'll see what happens and what that will eventually turn into. I'm not really sure. But we'll see. We shall see. All right. So we got 15 minutes left, guys. Hit me with any additional questions that you might have. Happy to answer those for you. Tennessee Tweety, with her new deal. Glad that you love the Three Amigos. That's awesome. But yeah, the contractor side of things is definitely tough. Honestly, I think, that's in large part, Mike uses that list of contractors that he has. The property management firm kind of wants the project's done, but the guys that he uses to do like flips and that sort of stuff, that's really good. We have a lot of those relationships as well. And so from our perspective, we usually have 2 or 3 demo crews that we've done work with. We have a lot of different contractors over the time that we've used. So we'll also figure out, like, that guy who quoted 20, he was clearly using the wrong type of labor. He was clearly didn't want to do the project. If he got paid 20 grand to do it, he was fine with it. Didn't make any sense outside of that, because the number that I got for 6, that was fine. And when it was all said and done, I think we had about 9 grand into it. I think when it was all done. Hip Harp Silver, I'm so glad I married a bookkeeper. Yeah, you aren't kidding. Ashley's done great at that. She's obviously a nurse, and so she's not a bookkeeper. But as far as just for us, it's really just expense tracking and then rent tracking. So for us, it's really, 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 really easy. It's just volume. So being able to take, fixing a pipe or a plumber invoice or whatever, it's really just taking that and attaching it to the property. And then at the end of the year, we have our entire stack that we give, which is probably about this thick, like 2 inches. And then that's each property broken down, and then the costs associated, or the bills and the rents for each of those properties. So yeah, we can do a pretty easy job with that. It's pretty straightforward for us. Pretty straightforward for us. So yeah, not crazy, but I mean, she probably spends about 20 hours a week between everything. even with the 3 kids, which is amazing. But there is a lot of data entry for sure. But based on the super depreciation, cost segregation, and the rules of a real estate professional, I think it will turn out nicely. I think we'll get a pretty big refund this year. It'll save us a lot of money. Sorry. You got cool. Got my last name right. Wachter. Perfect. Welcome to the 1% who get it right the first time. Don't I know it? Oh my goodness, don't I know it? Yeah. Yeah. So funny. Yeah. I'm just remembering some names where it's just like, wow, that person was not even close. I get Hopkins a lot. Hopkins. My last name isn't Hopkins. It's not even close, actually. So yeah. So any new listeners, watchers, at Lumberjack Landlord on Instagram, please make sure you follow me. There's going to be a ton of stuff. I've been I hadn't done anything. The account was open in July. I hadn't done anything. I hadn't done anything really for for last year. Just because I was so focused on deals, and we've since got all those deals done. We've closed on pretty much everything. We've got, that was a problem. Don't want to lose the whole desk. It wasn't attached. We've got pretty much everything locked down. We close again on another property next week. Actually, I think Wednesday. And then we have one more if it's coming up. But we've had, in a lot of the buildings that we bought, we had something like 16 or 18 units that were open. So we needed to get in there, do any repairs that we wanted to do. And those were in multiple buildings. We've now kind of done those lists of repairs. And so since November, we've been filling those up. And so as of right now, I think we have only like 2 units, 1 unit that isn't spoken for. Yeah. It's only like 1 unit that hasn't been spoken for. Yep. Yeah, we've done really, really well. Yep, filling those units with people that need housing. And I would implore all of you, at least look at your state's COVID program. I would look at it. A lot of people have been displaced because old landlords had sold buildings and they just took it as the opportunity to, hey, I'm going to upgrade it and crazy raise the rents. Because it's, maybe some laws and rules like there are in California. So, hey, people need housing. I'm not saying don't put them through your process, but try and find out who's administering COVID funds for your area, and give them a shot. Give them a shot at some of the units. I've not been sorry. The person that runs the COVID program, Abby, in our area is spectacular. She's such a great person. She's only trying to help folks. She's willing to work with me as well, which doesn't instantly make her great, but it's a pretty good start. But she's been amazing to work with, amazing to work through issues with, because it's not perfect. But we've been able to help a lot of people that were otherwise living in hotel rooms, families, single moms, 2, 3 kids living in a hotel room. Imagine what that's like on a daily basis. Holy cow. So we just want to help them out. So we've done a number of things, but yeah, reach out to that program, take a look at it. I think you'll like what you find. The rates are strong. What they pay is very strong, at least in my market. And they've been fantastic to work with. They really have been. So we just put them through the normal application process. And so far, so good. It's been really good so far. Nikodon, oh geez, I thought you were counting down Matt retirement. Yeah. True story. Terry Fred, thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I like it. That's my USA World Championships sweater. It says it right here. It's hidden behind my beard. But yeah, I like these USA ones were actually really nice. So I don't buy them all, but I buy a decent amount of jerseys. If I'm not in plaid, I'm in this. or I'm in a Jersey, not this particular one. Jason Mitchell, appreciate your content. I watch your videos on your channel, not on Zuber's, just to give you the credit. Thanks. But you guys are both great. Enjoy your day. Jason, thank you so much. Have an awesome rest of your day, my friend. Glad you enjoy it. Glad you watch it. And appreciate you watching on my channel. It's first on my channel. He's funny. I don't mind at all. He plays them literally the very next day. So if you want to wait 24 hours and hear the old news, watch it there. If you want to hear it first, you come here. A timeshares. Yeah. 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 Timeshares. I think we actually have a timeshare. It was very strategically purchased. Yes. Yes. Dion, you have a full week of awesome as well, my friend. Dion's great. Tuesday nights live stream, Dion, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. East Coast time. He goes until the questions stop, which I love. I did that until one day questions kept me on for over 5 hours, and I won't do that again. It hurt too much. I finished and I was like, I'm exhausted. I can't do that. 5 hours all at once. Holy Toledo. And with no co-host. If you guys are part of a couple, we do a couple or a throuple. We do a Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack on Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Myself and Mrs. Lumberjack. We do those 8 p.m. Thursday nights every week. We didn't do one last week because of Eliana and her treatment, but we don't have one of those for another few weeks. So we will be on this Thursday, Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack, 8 p.m. talking about through stuff. And you guys will have access to Mrs. Lumberjack, ask her some questions. But the whole reason we do that is because usually there's a really pro real estate person in a relationship. And then there's the person that is, diametrically opposed, dragging their feet, wants nothing to do with it. Bring them to that session. Get them to ask questions. We won't shame anybody. We really want to help couples, thruples, get on the right track for real estate investing. And it's so much better. It's so much better when you're doing it as a team. In fact, you guys will see, you'll see my Instagram post tomorrow. I already have it queued up, but you guys will see my post tomorrow. I might do it tonight because I think I've got something else for tomorrow. But when you're working together as a team, it makes a huge difference. And usually there's skills that your partner have that you don't have, or things that they can help with the process. And it's so much better. And then you don't feel like you're doing it alone, but bring them there Thursday nights, 8 p.m. We're happy to spend time with you guys, have the conversation, talk you guys through real estate, answer their questions. What are they concerned about? And because it's largely anonymous, right? Because it's just on live stream, they can really feel safe to ask their questions. And that's what we're here for. So yeah. REI trainer, Matt, reach out to Prime Corporate Services. Pace Morby recommends. He likes them over Anderson Advisors because they are quicker. I had no relationship with them, so due diligence, but thought I'd share. Oh, thanks for sharing. That's really cool. So we want it to be somebody local. We want it to be somebody local. Yeah, we want it. We want it to be somebody local from an advisor's perspective. I just have a feeling about local, and our state's also very, very different. We don't have an income tax. We don't have a sales tax. How they tax things is very different here. Property taxes, those sorts of things. So from a state perspective, it's just very unique. That's why I think I just feel like it needs to be a New Hampshire person. But yeah, you know what? If I'm not in love with somebody from the 4 or 5 names that we got, if I don't fall in love with somebody there, I'll definitely look them up for sure. Prime Corporate Services. Interesting. That's great. Yeah. The other thing too that I find with nationals is they're usually pretty expensive. That's what I've typically found, because they have to have so much expertise under one roof. And the expertise that I need really is federal, but very specific to my state, because my state's different than so many other states. Just very, very different. So that's typically what we see. So awesome. If you guys have not hit the like button, please do so. Please hit that like button on your way out. Also, please make sure that you subscribe. You want to make sure that you subscribe so you guys get that notification bell when we're going live on Sundays and on Thursdays. And you never know when the next Three Amigos live stream will be. So you want to make sure that you are set up to get that notification. And then on Instagram at Lumberjack Landlord, at Lumberjack Landlord, at Lumberjack Landlord, we will post something every single day. That's my commitment to you guys, is that I will post something every single day. I expect all of it to be real estate related, but in some cases it might only be my kids in front of a piece of real estate. But yeah, please make sure that you guys check me out on Instagram. Every day I will be posting content with just something that we experienced, something that we went through. And those types of experience, you guys not having to live those experiences yourself, are just so key. I don't want you to have to live all the pain that we've gone through on a lot of these things. So if I can go through it and it can cost me the buck, spend my buck learning your lesson. So love to have you guys subscribe and get on there on Instagram. So guys, thank you so much. We hit our 2:30. We have 3 hours. Go spend the rest of the weekend with my kids and watching some football. And you guys have an awesome rest of your week. Stay blessed. Appreciate all your thoughts and prayers for Eliana, and we will talk again soon. Take care, everybody.